Hey, what's going on, y'all? So I'm pretty much coming through to go ahead and just do this one. I know I should always try to look for the better and brighter. Like, you know, I think at some point you're starting to understand. Um, some people like to be lied to, or that they want certain types of narratives, so that way they can go on with their life. And it's pretty hard that you gotta. It's pretty hard as an individual. Learn to um, you have to learn to just suck up and deal with it because you gotta understand like this digital world that we're living in right now, or digital age. People, they're definitely trying to live a fraudulent life, you know. And I'm gonna tell you right now, holistically, with the way how a lot of these dudes and women are moving, you might want to keep your neck game tight. Like you really want to. Like I'm definitely learning to keep my peace, about who I rock with and who I like jump on. You know, you can't. And it's nothing that big. Like, but anybody's checkable. Anybody's definitely checkable. But I will always say, but I definitely want to say that you don't want people to take you out of your square. Don't ever let people take you out of your square. You know, and that's something that um, it definitely does happen quite a bit. It definitely does happen quite a bit. Whether it be with whoever, don't let them take you out of your peace. I don't let YouTube or social media or certain vices of people take me out of my peace no more. I don't, and neither shall you. People will step around you and try to make it seem like it's cool. People will try to tell you whatever narrative so that way they can see you off your game just to get you aroused or angry. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever they say a certain message or text or whenever they say stuff to you, and like when they're just talking, and you know they're trying to poke at you, they're trying to get aroused out of you. I'm not gonna lie, back then I used to take the bait. I did used to take the bait, but now I'm like, what is that gonna do? Because ultimately they got me. I'm not getting nothing out of them. They want, and some people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want me to play um to play favorites, I can't do that. I can't. I can't. I got one life to live. I don't want the people that I love to think that I didn't go out, actually doing my due diligence of telling this for what it is, man. Like that's why I say, like, when I was on the panel earlier with a lot of the young brothers, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty refreshing because I think a lot of the younger people have a better grasp of what's happening real time. Shout out to the Blur Cartel. Shout out to um, one of the most hardest working. Um, I know one of the most hardest working women, and um, what I'm saying, that gives me a lot of different inspirations for a lot of my content. Shout out to a lot of the people that are just realistic about what's going on. And it's not because we swallowed any kind of pill or that we're on any type of stuff. It's just that when you start seeing things for what they are, what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get you want to have some type of supremacy about yourself. But then can you also look at where you're weak at and call that out? And see, that's something I have a big issue with. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Shonda? What's going on? Like, I'm a little bit over the gender war. I'm a little bit over that. I'm over that. Y'all think that the younger dudes are in that gender war shit or the younger females? We're actually not. We're actually not. You understand me? I'm gonna say this for the ones who are in their 30s on down. So for any of you older cats, y'all can have it. Y'all can have whatever beef or war y'all got going on. Y'all can have that. But I can promise you, if I were to get the people that are like younger and actually pull them and actually start having a conversation with them, I can promise you our outlook on how we're seeing life right now, like this gender or this goddamn political shit, why we always got to keep choosing? Why we always got to choose? Choose mommy, choose daddy, choose this, choose that. Nigga, I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it. And honestly, it seems like no matter what we do, Dan if you do, Dan if you don't. There's a lot of judgmental people around here, man. I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of judgmental people in these spaces. They like to critique people's lifestyles. They like to critique how you eat, shit, breathe, your weight. Let me judge you, but God knows, don't ever pull up my resume. And when you ask them about, well, why did you make certain decisions? Well, back in the day, and then and it's not. And this is not me banging on any old people, but I honestly I don't have no beef for any of the old. I mean, let's be honest, man. Like telling people that y'all make six figures, what is that honestly doing for us? What is that honestly doing? What is that honestly doing for me? Me knowing that you got six figures under your belt, what does that do for me? You doing Shark Tank now? Your knowledge that you got from reading a book, congratulations for telling me about it. But can you get? Is that going to get me a job? Are they hiring in my city? Again, people inferring certain stuff. I showed one video of a girl who turned in her baby daddy who robbed a bank. Niggas thought I was beating up on black men. Nigga, he robbed a bank where people's money was in there. Y'all, and oh, you should she probably got seven kids, nigga. Whoever said she has seven kids, like y'all be listen, bro. Like y'all be, I swear, people be looking for the worst in humanity in these motherfuckers, bro. People looking for the worst in humanity. But I swear on everything, we start pulling up your resume, you won't like it when we might pull out the mirror. That's what I'm saying, man. Motherfuckers on here are too judgmental. They like to say cast the first stone if you don't got no sin. I don't got no smoke. I don't have listen. I don't really have no smoke or vitriol for a brother trying to get his life together. I don't have no smoke or vitriol for a dude who or like a woman that literally having to raise her children. Like I'm not. I'm sorry, man. I'm not doing that with y'all. I'm not gonna keep doing that. Like y'all, this place is crazy and weird as it is, man. Y'all got a lot of vitriol for y'all parents, man. I don't. I don't have that kind of heat, man. I'm a grown ass man. And I'm trying to live my life. Y'all could be telling people how to go get certain certs, certain get into school, where to go get certain stuff done. But y'all, I mean, dudes actually weaponize this shit. I had somebody telling me, BMT, you hate black men. That's crazy. That's wow. I was like, damn, I hate black men. Yeah, all you do is talk about them. Well, I'm a black man, and I'm telling you what we need to be doing. I'm sorry if I'm not. If you want to get to where I'm at in life, I'm not gonna be easy on you. Maybe your papa, maybe your mama, maybe some parents should have been a little bit harder on you. or maybe they were too hard, but they weren't instructing you. But I do want to see the best out of my people. And all people that look like you ain't your people. I want you to know that. All people that look like you ain't holistically your people. What's going on, y'all? All people that all like we gotta y'all gotta be for real, man. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Like y'all make it seem like I'm getting tired of everybody fucked up ideology, man. This shit getting old, bro. This shit's really played out. Y'all are y'all not tired of that shit? Are y'all tired? I'm tired. I'm tired of being a whipping boy. My sons aren't fucked up. My daughters aren't fucked up. My people aren't fucked up. I don't know who y'all entertain so much, but y'all like. I mean, it is what it is, man. Yeah. Society is bad, yes, but I don't know if y'all ever talk about the good. Or maybe, I mean, hey, I get it. Some people come around for the trolling. We got to understand. Some people just like to troll. That is their business. That it is their YouTube. It is their server. They can do whatever they want. You know, I only have the conversation go but so far, man. You know, when I start noticing people want to get a reaction out of me, look what this person said about you, BMT, and I'll side eye the motherfucker because I'll be like, so you want me to react to this person? Y'all got to know when people try to take you out your square. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all got to start understanding some people on here have psychological issues. They just want to watch things burn, burst in flames. They don't like functionality, man. Y'all got to understand the play, man. That's why I don't get too wrapped up tight. Like if somebody did a wrong deed or something jacked up, yeah, call them out, man. Get at them. But I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm not going to keep. I'm not going to stay on this vitriol. I'm just not. I'm not. I no no. Y'all got it. Y'all not seeing it for what it is, man. Why are these people so angry? Nobody ever questioned. Nobody ever questioned why are these people so angry. Why is all the content always about? You got to ask yourself the question: how is YouTube going to fix these people? I want y'all to think about it. For all the channels y'all go to, how is YouTube going to fix these people holistically? I'm just saying, man. If your job knew you talk like this, would they really look at you the same? If your family knew you talk like this, would they really want to rock with you? I don't know, man. Like I don't have a problem. Excuse me. I don't have a problem. Listen, I'm gonna say this out of my heart. Y'all gonna look at me a little sideways on this. If if a man ain't ain't taking care of his child, I think that motherfucker should be held accountable. If a woman's not taking care of her child, hell yeah, I think she should be held accountable. If either parent's not taking care of their child, yes, they should be held accountable. I know y'all don't like that. Y'all want to say, "Oh man, like we need to have certain, we need to get rid of child support." No, nigga, no, no, no. If I wasn't taking care of my children, yes, yes. Yes, their mothers should be compensated. Y'all gonna say, "Oh, BMT, you on that feminist shit?" No, I'm being honest. I'm being realistic, man. Health insurance ain't cheap, nigga. Kids dental, kids need glasses, kids need education, kids need food, they need love, they need shelter, they need comfort. It takes two parents. But we gotta understand we're in a society where motherfuckers do not care. Men and women are not thinking about these repercussions. They're not. They're not. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? I hate when people keep bringing up the future. Well, you should have known. Like nigga, like I don't know. Listen, y'all. Listen. Take it from me, bro. People lie. People lie. It happens. You think that you're in love with something, and you're not. You think that you know something, you don't really know. You truly don't know a motherfucker until after shit starts hitting the fan. That's when you truly start finding out people. The people that y'all still engaged to, married to, rocking with, friends with. I bet you when you start actually hanging with that motherfucker, you start seeing shit differently, bro. Some people are okay with swallowing the poison, bro. So long as they got peace, so long as they got friends, so long as they got family. Listen, some people say, "Yo, why the fuck are you trying to bring up this shit?" Yeah, but you're living a lie. I don't give a fuck. It's my life. You hear that? They don't care, and y'all can try to shame them for what it is. That's their life. That's what they want to swallow. Like y'all, that's what I'm saying. Like when people try to tell people, like, "Yo, we're trying to wake you up." How do you know they want to be saved? What's up, Kane? What's up, Shannon? What's up, Ed? What's up, Snowman? What's up, that dog stray? What's up, Charlene? Nezra? Shonda? Toya? Like y'all, listen, man. Y'all swear up and down that y'all are all superheroes. No, I'm not gonna say y'all. People who are content creators swear up and down that they're superheroes. I'm gonna tell you right now. You gotta ask yourself a question. What makes a person so willing to put their life out there openly for random people to watch? I want you to think about that. What would make somebody so willing to want to put their life out there for other people to watch? And I want you to think about that so well, like because people they don't like even people just looking at their text messages. So why would you want people to watch you? Why? Why? I know some relationships where the mama will give the child to the father because she's too busy with work. And the dad's like, you know what? I'm not really working that much. I gotta take the child. While some other relationships, it's better if the mom would just told on to the kids, but she knows, guess what? Daddy don't give a shit or rat's ass if we even eat or starve. Is that her fault? Can she really make that man care about that child? See, this is the thing y'all don't understand. You cannot make a parent or a person care about another person. You listen, men been do, but here's the thing: you can't. You cannot make somebody care. You cannot make somebody care. You cannot make nobody care about that individual. To get them to care, that means they actually have to want it. If they don't want it, then guess what? But you gotta understand, the government looks at it like, hey, that's a social liability. We now have a human being that is born into this world that now needs some type of. You can't kill it. Can't kill the person. I know it's hard to believe, but you can't kill it. And a lot of people want to say, well, guess what? Like, I'm just trying to let y'all know, man, like, they're not going to ever, like, society, dominant society is never going to allow that. Like, I get it. We got our latchkey kid. There's a lot of latchkey kids in the on channels. Let's take some time and actually uh think about that. How many? A lot of us are latchkey kids. If you don't know what a latchkey kid is, it was a kid that literally they were foraging for themselves on how to feed themselves, properly, actually wash off, do everything that they got to do to survive and thrive while your parent went while your parent went to work. A lot of us are latchkey kids. A lot of us is how we survived. We had to learn how to comfort ourselves. And in doing that, we developed certain coping mechanisms that we use to survive. I'm sorry, it wasn't easy for some of us. Some of us were abused. Some of us were used. Some of us had all kind of issues and stuff. I know this is hard to hear, but a lot of us are latchkey kids, man. And I know we're gonna say, well, our mom and dad they should have thought about this shit. We don't listen, man. I don't have no time machine to go back and stop none of this shit. I don't. I don't. I don't. If I could, if I could be that guy to go in the time machine and give you a hug back in the past, I would. I would say, hey, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna make it, man. But Sally, I don't have that power. Y'all gonna say, well, mom and dad should have known what they were getting into before they made us, bro, ma'am. It is what it is. What it is, man. It is what it is. Like shit just happened the way it did. So some of y'all are going to have to start tightening up on this shit, man. If y'all about chasing the paper, chase the paper. But chasing the paper is gonna come at chasing the paper is gonna come at certain like causes, man. I can tell you right now, I lost a lot. I lost a lot chasing paper, man. I lost a lot of family. I lost a lot of friends. I want y'all to understand me. Where I am today, I've lost a lot. I lost a lot. A lot of people talk about this shit. Well, you know, it's easy to be a teacher. Dude, it's not. It's not. Same thing for my parents. They chased a dollar. They wanted a better lifestyle, but guess what? They weren't always there. I know they love us, but they weren't always there. Some and I'm never going to and I'm never going to tell people like, hey man, you should just swallow the abuse. We got this really sadistic sadism going on telling people that they should just stick it out for the benefits of the family. Why are we telling people that? Why? You gotta wonder what is the motherfucker thinking when they say, hey, you should stick it out for the abuse. I don't know, dude. Like I would ask you. All right, I want to do this. If you want somebody to stick it out for the abuse, let me take a needle and I want to be able to stick needles into your fingers. Now, I promise you, I will pay you $20 a stick. I'm just asking you to allow me to stick needles in your skin. You'll get paid. You'll get compensated. Hell, I'll do $30 a stick. Just let me stick needles into you. I don't know nobody that's going to stick it out for that type of punishment. Y'all not. You're not going to do it. You're not going to. You're going to punch me, and you're going to be kicking and hollering and screaming. You're not going to sit there with a happy face. And that's how it is whenever you're telling somebody stick it in for that of the volatile behavior. Nobody's trying to do that shit, bro. No, nobody's trying to hear that. I'm not against if men want to go abroad and travel, fine. If women want to go abroad and travel, fine. Yep, that is so true, Shonda. Most 70, 80 babies are latchkey kids since our parents were working, but those experiences made us creative, problem solve, unlike the generations that followed us. What happened? You know the thing, let's look at that. But I really want to do a conversation about us as the latchkey generation. I'm not gonna call us the I'm gonna call us the latchkey generation. And you have to think about it as the latchkey generation, right? No, I'm not dropping no link, but y'all gonna start saying some crazy shit. I'm not dropping no link. Y'all say stupid shit when y'all get up on panels. So I can't trust y'all. When it comes to latchkey kids, yes, we are majority of the people on these panels in the chat are we're latchkey kids. I don't think people understand that, but look around at your peers and look how we think. Look how our minds developed. My dad tried to convince my mom to not divorce until I was 18, just so I could have two parents. No, no, you're gonna start saying something quick. Just so I could have two parents, but she was just so unhappy. Fuck out of here. I love my mom, but that was the wrong choice. See, at least you're being honest about that. At least you're being honest. I'm not gonna convince. Stop convincing unhappy people to be where they don't want to be. Y'all got to understand this, man. These talking points, a lot of people tell it's like y'all want to condone some type of mindset of like psychosis. The first thing given to man of a divinity right was free will. Free will. So when you say men don't want family, because you can't say women want family or men don't want a family. People do not want a family because a family comes with that of bias of responsibility. Comes with that of responsibility, accountability. You can't you can't have a family if you don't want a family. So if either side do not want a family, but here's the thing about it. That's why I said like you're dealing in a new era. The system is done made it to where it's terraformed, where holistically you don't unhappy relationship lead to resentment. Like I don't think people want. It's not about having a two-parent home. I think they want joint cooperation. However, I can't. You can't force. You can't. This is not the military. Actually, I'm gonna be for real. Even in a goddamn a squad, if you got it where one guy is uncooperative, that is a dangerous. You're not gonna want to go out there with that guy. You're definitely not gonna chance it out there. You're not gonna want to chance it out there because you're gonna run that other risk. She never went to court. She and allowed my dad to contribute when he could. It flowed much better. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. Kelly. But and I can honestly tell you, underrated. You want to be cammed up or no? Okay. Okay. So you can't force like, but there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people back in the day, Kelly, that they just stuck it out. They just stuck it out. We're not in a time era anymore where people have to stick it out no more. People can say, you know what, I'm done with this shit. I'm out. It's for the better. I'm not sticking it out anymore. Um, and I think that's fine. That's fine. But you have to understand there is a residue of don't make or don't start what you can't finish. Don't Don't just pull people around if you don't mean no good. Like you don't care about their well being. You know what I'm saying? If you just want a familiarity or a trauma relationship, say that. All right, we're joined here by Ji. We're joined here by Underrated. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the panel. We're just doing a free verse. What's up?
Yeah, let me get in on this BMT.
Okay, go ahead, man.
I'll go after my way.
All right,
All right.
go
So
ahead.
yeah, I'm nice right now. We keeping it chill. Now, the reality is relationships are built on survival. I'm talking about from nature. Relationships are about survival. So back in the day, you literally had to be a family unit because there was danger everywhere. There were people who didn't know you who would hurt you. All right. So we formed tribes, formed familiarity. The whole phrase "winter is coming" that people like to use on here, they think it came from Game of Thrones. No, it came from the reality of back then an unattached woman would literally die during the winter because she could not physically survive. But now we have houses with heat. You go to Walmart to get your food. You can do all that. So the government, and which is one reason religion was used heavily, people have to submit to something greater to themselves, which is what the religion thing was for. Okay, God wants you to have a family. Okay, I got to do this because God wants it. So that's what they got people to submit to, something greater than themselves, which was God. But in this day and age, people don't believe in God anymore. And when I say believe in God, people may, say out their mouth that they Christian or whatever, but they don't follow that book. They don't live by it. They don't even read it. So it is what it is. And now when there's no consequences, like you said, and you can just leave whenever you're unhappy at the drop of a hat, families as we knew them are gonna, well, they're already disintegrated, but I think they're gonna become a thing of the past, at least here in Western culture. See, in other countries, they still actually enforce those things, and they still actually live more close in the Islamic faith. They live more close to the values of their book, not perfectly, but more closely, and the laws more closely reflect that. So they have less
But
welfare and
isn't that
things like that.
force? But isn't that a force system?
Yes, yes, yes. It's
Okay,
forced. Yes.
so you want free will to be taken away?
No, not me. I don't want free will to be taken away. I
But
accept that families.
but that
No,
is
I accept it. I accept that families are going to be disintegrated. I just want men to have financial abortion rights and equal rights under the law. Listen, the family thing is done. I admit that. Because if you don't force it, and it's not forced by nature, aka survival, which is where the winter is coming came from. Well, we know that the government's got welfare and all kind of stuff, so they're not going to die. Even if they're not living a standard of living that they want, they're not going to actually die. So that's off the table. And then you got the social shaming, the Scarlet Letter, which most people have read or at least are familiar with. If they didn't read it, we don't have any social shame anymore. We got slut walks and stuff. So there's no shame. There's no fear of survival. So yeah, that's why families are done because it's not being forced. So I agree with you there. I just want it to be fair for men, so men can completely detach without consequence, just like women have that option. But the family thing, I say it all the time. The community's done. This family unit thing is done here in America.
okay. Does a man? And I'm about to give it to Underrated. Do you think men have always had the option to choose if they want to deal with the family or not?
Yeah. Are you asking me
Okay,
or are
so
you asking Underrated?
no, I'm just asking you, like, because I'm just saying, like, men, like, back in the day, you can, before all this, like, before you even started financial abortion, dudes could just leave out of town and just leave their family and just go start another family.
Yes.
Like, and Underrated Darkness, he's been around for that. Men were doing that
Yes.
up in New York, like, easily. Like, you didn't even know the dude had a whole nother family on the other side of town, just only like 10 miles down.
Yes, but it's rare for a married man to just leave his wife and his children and do that. Did it happen?
No,
Yeah. I mean,
no,
you can point
that
to
was it.
anything that
They were
happened.
doing that. No, that
No,
was
it's
different.
that's rare though. That's not happening in large ways that men are just leaving their wives and children to whatever. Because even when men were going off to war back in the day where men had to be gone for like months and years at a time, they still came home to their family. So it's not a widespread thing that men are just up leaving their wives and stuff and just abandoning them. That's not
Okay,
like a wide scale thing. Did it happen?
okay,
Of course. We can find anything that happened.
okay.
but it's not is like some wide scale thing that people are trying to make it seem like.
But don't you
That's
think that?
that's that
Don't you think?
propaganda.
Okay, so let's get it over to underrated darkness. Go ahead, underrated, and then we got creative solutions. Welcome, welcome.
No, I'm gonna be short because I gotta do a chop up in like another 30 minutes. So I can get ready for that. I was
All right,
I do believe in families, but I think the key is that we fail to understand the long haul. We don't understand the building. Like for instance, brother BMT, you've been married for a long time. You have kids. Am I correct? Right?
correct.
All right. But you understand the build. You learn from your parents' mistakes, and you understand building. Our people, not talking about the man and the woman, especially in our people, we fail to understand building. You're gonna go through rocky times. You're gonna go through trial tribulations. If it's not for you, okay, it's not for you. And my thing is like I live by myself. But that makes me I don't like family. I don't bring families. So we got to be real careful. We got to be real careful how we talk about certain things because they are men and women do want families, but the question is the man or woman qualified for the long haul, qualified to build, to make sure the kids is fine, make sure y'all is fine. Yeah, everything help fine. I mean, do you take the time to go out somewhere? You mean I'm talking about couples, man and woman, or do you take time to kids? Or do you talk to your kids? That's all about building. See, when it comes, I see it like this, that it's all about quick fix. It's all about quick fix for some of us because we want the results right then and there, but it takes time, it takes work. Now I get it. There are some people do not want it in these days. I get it. But if you want a lasting relationship, if you want a strong marriage, or you want a strong relationship between a man and woman, it takes work. It takes work. I then also I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I fall back on this that we let too many people in our business. We run our mouth. I'm talking about man and woman. We got diarrhea mouths instead of keeping them in the house, and that's also the problem. Thanks again, brother BMT. Keep up the good work.
Underrated. Would you agree with me that relationships back in the day? I think people have this misunderstanding that relationships back in the day were just this happiness thing. There is no such thing as Disney relationships. This Disney romance stuff, that's new age. There was none of that back in the day. So will you agree that those relationships were held together by force?
No, it wasn't all by force, but I would say this though too that it was also a lot of things has happened too that they had. There's a lot of resource. There wasn't the resources back then as they have now. But I would say this though too that we tend to abandon the things what was do was right, and so I cannot tell people how to live their life. I cannot. That is not my place, and I'm not attend to. But I said for me that I'm still going to preach about families, even though it's like a demo. I still go preach, but I believe the man and woman should work together. I believe it. Like I said, Brother BMT is a prime example. You see him, he be with his kids. You see he interact with his kids and his wife and everything. You see that. So we do have examples in the space, but we don't what it is. Sometimes we don't go and ask how do you do that. I'm not saying that you have to copy from them, but develop your own formula to keep the family together, have a strong marriage, also have a strong relationship, because if it's not, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
But underrated, when I say it's by force, that's why women wanted the right to work, because it used to be they could not provide by themselves for themselves. They literally could not live if they were unattached from a man, which is why they went from their father to their husband. There was no such thing as them living by themselves. That's why they wanted to be able to work so that they could survive without a man. I'm saying that's what kept relationships together. It was about survival. It was forced. And we see now that in the Western society, all you have to do is compare the Western civilization to Eastern civilizations or civilizations where women don't work like that.
My mom's work.
Relationships are held together by force. That's
Okay.
what it was.
But my
So
mom's work. Let me get this out. My late mother worked. She know what she had need to be done. At times, my late mother works, but she knows she had to take care of the house too. So it was actually women back then that that hold it down too, that understands too. So it's just let's not make it seem like the women stays in the house and all that. Yeah, but there are some women at that time, especially in our community, have to work because sometimes the man. I'm a '60 baby, so I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I've seen it myself. Sometimes a man's income at times is not enough, so they have to. Sometimes they have to take a part-time job with and do houses and other stuff to keep her afloat. So it was happening. It was happening there. But the sad thing about it, those examples back then was not being talked about. And we need to talk about it more. So there are women do understand, what's going on. And then sometimes the men say, no, they don't. Because I was there. No, you don't have to take another job. No, I'm going to take a job because we definitely need extra in the house and everything. And it also, it keeps the family together too. So I could tell you it was at times my late father, my late mother, my late father had to pick my mother for the job. And they used to take me at the time I was the youngest. Used to take me and see my moms, pick my moms from work and everything. And sometimes we go out to lunch, we go to dinner out and everything. I mean, for the rest of the family. So what I'm saying is this: that in their own way they keep the family together. And at the time, it was a community too. So
But
Okay.
that was survival.
Yeah, I got other people on the panel. I got other people on the
yeah,
panel.
I'm fair. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, we're going on Creative Solution. Go ahead.
Hey, BMC. I don't know what JI keeps referring to. Like, we need to go back to the day where, women had to rely and their man was like their only source of income. So they went to
That's
him.
not what I said. I did not
I'm
say
just
we need to
saying,
go
that's what
back
you're
there.
JI, let her fit.
implying.
JI, let her talk. She ain't seen us talk.
She misrepresented me though. I did not
let her
say
talk.
that though.
Talk. Just let her talk. Let her talk, man. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, JI, the time that you're talking about, it's over. It's over. It's done for. It's no more. So so I just wanted to let JI know that. And second of all, I see a lot of relationships that are working. I see a lot of marriages. I see a lot of people with kids. So I think a lot of people do want families. And families keep traditions going on. You know, I don't know why I say that, or to me it seems like Ji want to have his cake and eat it too, but but I see families out there, and I think it takes work to make that, to keep it going. You can't just be in it and do a half-ass job. And like, once you become a family and a unit, you got to put your everything into it. And I think we struggle with that because we don't see that growing up. So some of us feel like we can't accomplish that, or we don't know how to, or we believe that we're not deserving of having that. And yeah, I think that's what's wrong with us today, is like, we need to know that it is possible, but it does take work, and it's not fairy tale. I would agree with that. It's not
Uh,
always a walk in the park.
I get what you're saying on that one. I would say this:
Hmm.
some traditions are fine, and some traditions need to die. However y'all want to take that, that's one for y'all. And I understand that some traditions. Oh, no problem, Underrated Darkness. Thank you for coming through with your wisdom, bro. Check out Underrated Darkness. The man is doing some good work and bringing us some good information. Not every tradition that we had was a good tradition. Not everything that we walked or we were told it wasn't always right. If that makes any sense for y'all. When y'all started
Hmm.
getting older, y'all started seeing things a lot differently than how sometimes, and this is not me pushing against anybody. I'm telling y'all from my experience, that some of the stuff that my mom and dad and different people were doing around me as I got older now, I'm not the give it to Jesus type. I'm not the going to stay silent daddy type. I'm not going to pretend like I'm happy type. I'm not going to fake it until the kid gets a certain age type. No, I'm not doing none of that shit no more. Fuck that. No, y'all can do that shit. That's not me. That's
Okay,
not me.
so BMT, when I talk about traditions, I'm talking about like, you know, like certain food that's cooked on
Right? No,
certain
no, no, no.
holidays.
Yeah, I agree with you with that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. But what I'm saying is certain things. Okay, like I remember, I know of people who were getting abused physically and psychologically, and they were told to stick it out for that of the sake of the family. That made no fucking sense. That made no sense. That's crazy. That's some goddamn weep was. I know. There's a lot of shit we were told how to vote, how we should act, how we should behave for that the sake of somebody else's convenience. And I'm not no. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Charlene? Like,
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not with that because you shouldn't have to stay in an abusive situation or any kind of situation where you're unhappy. You don't, it's not in your best interest, but you're doing it, you know, for the sake of
convenience
the
of,
name
yeah,
or the family. It's I don't,
right.
yeah, I don't subscribe to that. I don't agree with that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when people say like I'm not staying for the fuck shit, I don't want no man or woman to stay or stick around where they're not appreciated or wanted. I'm not doing that. Like, listen, I've had my upsets and problems. Listen, y'all, I learned one thing. When I made that long drive and I had shit in my car packed up, I shed my tears. I say, never again. Never fucking again. Niggas ain't going to ever get to run that game on me again. So understand this. I see it from different points, but I always tell people like men can get their kids. I got a brother on here. Shannon, you there, bro?
Can
That
you hear
brother
me?
raises his. Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Shannon, do you not raise
Okay.
your children?
Yes, yes, all six.
You and he raised all. I never heard him complain. I've never heard this man complain. If anything, he's harder on the men, just like I'm harder on the men.
Yes, exactly.
You know what?
Because
I
go
respect
ahead.
Shannon B. I just wanted to say that I respect you
No.
because you
I
raise all
appreciate
your
it.
kids and you take
I
care
got
of
to
them.
interview him someday. I got to interview him someday. But he's a young cat like me. People think that we hate black men. We don't hate black men. We just don't got zero tolerance for the bullshit. That listen, bro.
Yes, yes. It's a
You just
lot of bullshit going on.
right.
A
Like
lot.
I fucks with a lot of y'all. I got my little brother. I fucks with Charlene. I fucks hard with Shannon. But but I'm telling y'all, man, there's a lot of shit in that we need to take out of these playbooks, man. We need to rip out of this goddamn fuck shit Bible, man. It's full of shit, and a lot of us we keep being told to keep playing the game. No, I'm not. I don't play nice no more. I don't play nice no more. Go ahead, Shannon, and then after that, Ji, you got it. You got it again.
Okay, so we're talking about marriage and families or
Anything, any way how you want to verse it, bro. However you want to
oh,
verse it.
okay, cool. I want to talk about the myth of the marriage, and they're really not talking about Xers, and they're not talking about boomers. What people in the space are emulating is the silent generation marriage. That's what they're talking about. The boomer generation, it didn't really work. That Leave It to Beaver lifestyle and all that. I'm just relaying information my dad told me. It never was true. Most of the people that got married were getting married on circumstances. Like if you were a product of a Gen X, you know what I'm saying? If you're one of those kids, more than likely you were an accident. You weren't planned. You see what I'm saying? So the whole fact of these families being put together and they're making it like, well, we were together because the family was more important than anything. That's when the BS started. It started there. If you want to have a successful marriage, you need to marry your friend. You need to be with somebody that you actually like. Most of the people that are having kids together don't like each other, and that's why they don't last. They just simply there's no recipe. There's no high value. You can't have all this money. You can't have all that. All that's just a bunch of crap. You got to be married to somebody you actually like, and they have to like you. That's the only thing that works. All the other stuff is just a bunch of fluff and bullshit. That's why marriages don't work. The people get together, they have a baby by you. A few months later, they're gone. because they never liked you in the first place. And that's kind of the BS that circulates in the manosphere with all this old extra fluff on how to get a wife, which I don't understand, because when the manosphere first started, they weren't talking about marriage. They were talking about how the marriage can do you harm if you don't do it. You know, if you accidentally marry the wrong person, this is what can happen to you. So that's one part. And then the kids part, if you have kids by a woman, it just makes I don't even know where to go with that. But don't have kids by a bunch of women. That's pretty much all I can say on that end with that. That's the dumbest crap that's actually our culture now. To lay up and just have a bunch of babies by whoever, and little stories like racism can exist because there's no family ties to nothing. Nobody knows their family. If you have kids by 4 different dudes, you got 4 sets of families running around here. You got 6 different families over here. Nobody knows nobody. It's the whole black community is just a big mess right now. And then you got people fighting for no child support. That's because they just want to make babies. And you got it's just a big mess. You got women running around. They hitting licks because they know black men are not responsible. They are nutting anything. And it's just both sides were just playing games, and everybody's playing dumb. That's what's going on. Our culture is just getting over, trying to one up everybody, and just it's just a big mess. And when you say something about it or speak up against it, then of course you got the people that comes in and plays dumb, and they fight against it. And that's what this whole space is built on, that just bullshitting each other. So that's all I got to say, BMT.
No doubt. Like I said, man. Like I said, I'm told I hate black men. It's interesting. What's going on, HT? Like, I want y'all to understand this, man. And this is something I want y'all to hear from my own mouth, man. Just because you put a ring on somebody, don't mean you actually fuck with that person. Just because that person, just because you put a ring on somebody, don't mean you actually fuck with them. I want y'all to understand that. I want you to get it. I really want y'all to understand that. Some of the most interesting civil cases are married people. Versus there are some people who they find a good friend, a good loved one, somebody that they actually care about and they have an affinity of love for. They might have children, they have a good relationship. Never take it that far. Never get that bad. They actually just that's what I'm saying, man. Like, you were told a certain narrative.
Exactly.
You were told a certain narrative. And now as I'm older now, I'm starting to get the game. People marry, yes, I agree. People married out of survival. See, the problem is in America now, you don't have to get married out of survival. You can still be very, very, very lucratively. Like, here's the thing. And watch this with taxes. You can only claim 3 children at a time. My other child, that motherfucker, I get people calling me up all the time. Hey, what you gonna do with so and so? What? Nigga, where the fuck were you at? Why? So wait, why can't I come out? Listen, man, the government papers done changed, bro. System done changed, man. You got classism, you got different other kind of structures of shit going on. Now, I gotta be real with y'all. They're not going to ever. The welfare system is a multi-billion-dollar business that is tied in with big government, that is tied in with Medicaid, and there's a lot of money in Medicaid.
They can't get rid of welfare, BMT.
It's tied in with housing. They can't.
Yeah.
That's too many structures that would collapse.
We
grocery stores will close. Grocery stores will close all over America if they got rid of.
Right. It would be painful, but we could do it.
Okay. I'm gonna pass over to you. I also got my financial homie Alonzo here.
I'm making it quick. Creative keeps lying on me.
Yeah, and I'll give you your time if you have to do a rebuttal. Go ahead.
All right, bet. Creative keeps lying on me, talking about I wish it would go back to those days. Nobody said I wish it would go back to them days. Never once have I said I want it to go back to those days. You keep telling this lie like I want women to be in the kitchen, whatever, jobless. Nobody has ever said that. I said that is why those marriages lasted. It was because it was forced. And I was saying that all this Disney, you got to find the right person, but all of that is a lie that y'all have been fed and a lot of people bought. The truth is, mama stayed with papa back then because it was socially enforced. You were seen as a whore or a bad person if you left your husband. That's number one. Number two, it was legally enforced. You weren't going to get any kind of welfare handouts or whatever. I'm talking way, way, way back. And number three, a woman could not work outside of the house. She could not work to support herself. She could not go and get a job somewhere, which is why women fought for equality and the ability to work outside of the home. So nobody's
Well,
talking about it wanting to
how
go
long?
back to those times, Shannon. No. Creative. Nobody's talking about wanting to go back to those times. I'm stating the facts. In all relationships, all of them are a product of survival. That's what a relationship is. How we work together for our survival. We live in a day and an age now where your survival is not tied to your personal relationships. And that's why they do not last. Those people were not happy. Every now and again, them chicks was getting hit upside the head when the man didn't like what they was doing. They weren't there out of love. We know what it was. It was forced out of survival. So nobody's saying that we should go back to that. I'm saying that without going back to a system where it is forced for people to stay together, the family's going to be destroyed. And people like you, Creative, that keep lying on people like me are the reason why men are saying to hell with y'all as a whole. And we see what's going on now, which is this division in the black community, which is only going to get wider. It's never going to be fixed. And the black community is going to remain destroyed. And people like me are just going to walk away. We don't care. I'm fighting for men's rights. I want men to get financial abortion rights. I don't want to deal with y'all at all. Because all y'all do is lie on men and try to put words in our mouth.
Yeah, maybe you should just don't sleep with us. That could be your number one choice right there.
You got it,
That's
Lonzo.
simple.
What's going on, folks? So, to actually piggyback a little bit off of what Jai was saying, that was actually less than 100 years ago. I was actually doing some studying for my CRC designation, and a lot of this stuff got implemented in about 1937 because
What is
of a lot.
CRC? Is that Certified Retirement Counselor?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
And so a lot of that was, implemented in those times. However, as of today, I'm currently married, right? And as far as I feel, as a husband, I'm not completely, I'm failing, right? And when I say that, I mean, because there's certain things just on a personal level as a man, I feel should be in place. One of those is I should be paying all the bills. Not for society or anything, but if I want to call myself the king of the house, the king of the castle, the HNIC, well, that's kind of what comes with being the king of the castle, is handling everything. So, a lot of this stuff, and Jay, I get where you're coming from, but we got to realize this, especially as men. Nobody cares about you. You're a man, right? To be honest, you probably don't even care about yourself, especially as black men. Why? Because look at a lot of the things that we do to ourselves, right? We kind of low-key kill ourselves intentionally. Lack of sleep, poisoning ourselves with this liquor, this weed, that smoke, this, right? So a lot of things are kind of in bad positions. In terms of, the relationships growing or marriage growing, a lot of that, like you said, is going to have to be to the point where you fucks with each other. My wife and I fucks with each other, right? Now, my wife, as far as it comes down to it, and this is just on an earnings level, she completely out earns me because she has a salary, right? I make $0 an hour. I work on 100% commission. So I literally eat what I kill. Now, there are some months where, in one transaction, I take home, 3 to 6 months of her salary, but those are few and far between. But still, she doesn't diminish my masculinity. Prime example, when we were dating, if we would go out and I would tell her, hey, listen, I can't cover the bill for this meal. Well, what she would do is she would make sure that I had the funds to cover the bill for the meal. But she would make sure that before we went into the restaurant, she'd be like, here's the money. You're going to pay the bill. Because at the end of the day, the waiter isn't going to come to me with the bill. He's automatically going to come to you with the bill, regardless of what they think the situation is, right? That's just the way society works. If you go out, even if the woman makes millions of dollars and is wearing gold-plated everything and you're wearing rags, guess what? That waiter is still going to bring you, the man, the bill. Why? Because, like you said, J.I., back in the day, the women had to depend on us. And believe it or not, they still do. They live longer than us because we go out there and we put ourselves in positions when we're working. We do the dangerous, hard jobs, right? Yes, there are women who are in those positions now, but for the most part, men are doing that. And, you know, a lot of this stuff is just, again, it ain't fair, but it is what it is. That's why BMT is harder on the men than he is on the women. Because at the end of the day, we run shit. Right. And if we're going to continue to want to run shit, then we got to realize that, hey, man, ain't nobody got nothing for you. Even these men in this space who talk about agency. Right. Again, I'm talking about my certified retirement counselor designation. We go on stuff like the Roger Report, where there's a gentleman by the name of Black Uru Strikes, who's a CPA who passed his CPA exam on the first try. And again, we talk about black male agency. My mother-in-law retired from Morgan Stanley. And I said, well, hey, are there any black advisors? Yeah, but they're old and they're getting ready to get out of the business. Well, let me tell you what the white advisors do, or the white CPAs do, or the white bankers do when they're getting ready to get out of the business. They don't just say, hey, sorry, y'all other guys, see you later. They pass down the knowledge, or they pass down their book of business. Well, I've been trying to get with Black Uru Strikes since 2020 when I came into this space. No, I'm not a CPA, but I'm a financial advisor. Why don't you give me some tips? Pass down your book of business instead of worrying about the trash men that are out here that aren't able to take, you know, up for his two daughters. He could be training grooming another young black man. Hey, get your CPA license. Then you'll be able to move in the world full of vultures. Now we'll have agency because we'll have black men in positions to actually make things happen. Prime example, the Lawrence Smith Fields thing. Well, I happen to live in an area where the mayor of New Haven, Connecticut, Mayor Justin Elicker, walks down my block on a daily basis because I'm in a nice area near Yale New Haven campus. Well, I approached that motherfucker and talked to him and threatened him with votes. I was like, you need to do something about this Lawrence Smith Field thing, right? And if we're putting each other in position with agency instead of having 4-hour circle jerks about what's wrong with the black woman, then we can actually make stuff happen. J.I., we can actually get back to the point where men are actually thriving, to the point where women do need us. Because right now we have these systems in place where they don't need us, but they were created by men who had daughters and nieces. And they were like, you know what? I'm going to make sure my daughter is in a position where she don't need a man for nothing but one thing. This is why that male agency is kind of trash. Because once I have a daughter, all that men stuff goes out the window because I want my baby girl to have everything that I want for her to have. So if you niggas got to get thrown astray, oh well. And that's probably what's going on with people like Black Uru and a lot of other gentlemen in these spaces who have daughters. And that's all I got for now.
The reason I knew what a what your credentials stood for, the certified retirement counselor, because I'm an enrolled agent myself, so I'm in that sphere as well. But
see, so you beat up on Black Uru as an EA because he's only a CPA.
Yeah, the EAs are licensed we're licensed by the IRS, and CPAs are licensed by the state. But I'm not trying to make it go back to what it was. I don't have any delusion of it going back to setting the stone or whatever. I'm not trying to fix it at all. I'm trying to make it as advantageous for men as possible, and for men to understand, look, it's not going to go back to the traditional ways, because it's always men that push back against my financial abortion more than or just as much as the women. And men go against their self-interest because they're stuck in the past, in this patriarchal way of thinking, this this chivalrous way of thinking, and that's not how the world is ever going to be anymore. Men have to understand women are not on their team and start playing for what's in our best interests. But shout out to you
Well,
though for having a successful marriage. That's good.
Can I
women
say?
are on your team though. It's just
Yeah.
that the women that the men want are not on their team. My dad always told me, if you want a wife, then look for a wife. What people are doing is they're picking a woman and they want her to act right. I like her and I want her to act right. And that's where all the confusion is coming from. Like I understand the financial abortion. I used to be with all that stuff, but if you don't have that in place, if you think it's bad now, whoo, yeah, it'll get worse. It'll get real worse. Like the way people complain about women now, if they got rid of child support and welfare and all that, it would triple. Because then the women, how they're freely giving it away now, they will completely stop. Because the whole thing about women being emotional and men not, no, men are more emotional than women because they have their stuff packed down. They start playing men off the rip. As soon as they see some turkey come around, they're like, oh, this nigga here. That's what they do. They even come into space doing that. They come and they play stupid. Oh, yeah, yeah. And they just see us. Yeah, and 50% of the women are not, they know already. They be already waiting. They see turkeys all over the place. And that's what they do. They hustle money. They hustle cash apps and all this crap. They hustle babies out of men. And that's why all this stuff has to be there because it's really to control men. And they ain't got nothing to do with it. They don't care about women. Women really can't do nothing to you. That's why they got the charm. They literally talk men into men talk their own selves into trouble all day long. I got 6 kids right now. None of the women did nothing to me. They just made it easy. Like, yeah, come on. And then when they got tired of me and I beat them out in court, they just say, oh yeah, here are your kids. I can't get no money out you. Hey, here are your kids. Shit, I'm not there to take care. I can't get nothing. And that's how I got my. I'm okay. I'm done.
That's the
Shit.
court system. It's not the women I'm talking about. I'm talking about the laws. That's why I say
That's
financial
what I'm talking
abortion.
about.
No.
Yeah.
You said that the men are women are not on men's team. Men need to understand that women are not on your team, and that's why I tell men we have to attack the laws. No
That's what
woman is stripping these. Hold on. No women is stripping these men of their children. They're losing these children in court because she has the United States government and all the violence it can bring to bear against that man. Even if he beat the police system, then he's going to have to deal with the National Guard. Then he's going to have to deal with the Army. Then he's going to have to deal with the Air Force. He can't win that battle, and it's enforced and strong armed by the government, which is why I made the petition, not for women to be better people, but for men to fight for our rights, because we can fix this, because it didn't used to be like this. And if we just change the laws, it will stop being like this. So I don't care what women do. Yes, they are evil for what they do because they're taking advantage of a situation, but I get that. I am telling men we need to fight in our interests. Just how you see all these women fighting about the Roe v. Wade and they upset and they protesting and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Men need to do that same thing to get financial abortion rights and to shut down all this foolishness. And until men do, they're going to continue to suffer.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Now let me ask
literally, you literally have to do yourself like that. Like the women have no power over men. Like they can't do nothing to you. You have to actually get them pregnant first.
Now let me.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me ask this question. Let me put this out here. Okay. If the men wanted that, right? Why weren't they out there trying to fight for Roe v. Wade?
It's because we're divided against ourselves because they have us divided against ourselves against nonsense things, arguing. First they turn men against women, then they got the racism thing going on that they play up, then they got the Democratic versus Republican thing going up, and then they got we got the LGBT stuff going on. So they found different ways to keep us divided on all these levels. Mm-hmm. Even though all that stuff is small compared to the real problem, so that we don't ever organize and collectivize for our true issues.
Just hear me out with this. For a lot of dudes and a lot of women that are about having their free agency, it don't hurt me none. See a woman go there to CVS and go get her Plan B. I'm like, go ahead, shit, go and do you. Most of the time, the nigga is the one who give her the money to go get the Plan B.
Yeah.
The nigga be the one giving her the money. How much the Plan B would cost? $45? I bet. Put that shit right in the buggy. Ain't got no problem with that.
That's
That
because
man-
we're
that
doing
man-
it now.
That man, y'all think these men ain't buying Plan B for their goddamn gal?
They
Y'all
buy,
fucking
they paying for the abortions too,
I
BMT.
bought I
I know
bought
that.
Plan B
That's
for
what I
girls.
said. It ain't the women. Listen, the women will go to a nigga and say, I need $400 for to go get this shit handled. But I know you ain't fucking with me like that. Bet that nigga gonna hustle that money faster than goddamn Wall Street.
Oh, that's right.
So no, men don't be paying shit. You got it with Future, is with 21 Savage talking about how many times they made songs about give a bitch a plan B? What the fuck y'all thought they were talking about? Rick Ross talked about it. Future talked about it. 21 Savage, Joyner. Man, there's so many niggas that be rapping about that damn plan B shit, nigga. Y'all stop.
They should be rapping about condoms. That's what they should be rapping about.
See, that'd be off cold. Let a nigga talk about getting a vasectomy. Y'all niggas literally lose y'all fucking mind. Like I'm just
crazy.
I keep it in the buck, bro. Like we're in a new post era. I know some niggas, they look like hood niggas, but they got their kids. They got their kids. They go to work, drive forklift at night, take their kid over to the mama's house with the mama is sleeping during the day, so the mama put them on the bus, and they'll get the kid. They just swap who got the kid. But in reality, some people are too busy or they just don't feel like fucking with the kid. Now, is that the job of the other parent to cover up? No, I disagree. You let the motherfucker know it was about the dollar. It hurts. It does hurt. It does hurt. But that's for that other person to heal that shit. You don't benefit your child lying to them.
I mean, I think, you have an absolute point there. And one thing that you said that is crazy is that these dudes wouldn't talk about getting a vasectomy or using condoms in their music. But I'll give you an example. One of the things that is difficult, because I actually I have a cousin who's in the music industry, and like he used to go through Twitter wars with like some very known people. So he got me in contact with Plies one day. And I was telling Plies, this was right before he did the Ran Off on the Plug Twice song. And I told him to talk about insurance. And he was like, bitches don't want to hear about none of that. That boring, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so realistically, the responsible things, dudes aren't really going to want to talk about, and that's why we were able to get a digital asset, a rap deal, right? With the FN Mika thing. This was a digital asset that became getting a record deal, because our stuff has been diminished so bad. I mean, even if you look, there's actually a documentary called Boss, the Black Business Experience, which explains, which is why we all now are putting a basketball or a microphone in our kids' hand as soon as they're born from the Black community, as opposed to, an abacus. So they could be like J.I. and be an enrolled agent, right? Do you know how powerful that man is? Right? He's as an enrolled, like I'm quiet as kept. J.I., you and I got to get contact, because behind the scenes, a lot of what I do is when working with my clients, I always find out if they have an accountant and an attorney, and I'm able to find estate planning attorneys, but I haven't been able to find accountants that I've been able to recommend. Mind you, I have family with SBSE, so I have very persnickety requirements when it comes to accountants. For that's it, for that simple reason. But even like having JIO here, actually, I do want to learn more about what the concept of the financial abortion is, because I've heard it before, but what ends up happening is oftentimes it doesn't get articulated well. So a lot of what happens, JI, is you'll get situations where, even similar to when we're explaining jargon in our field, and it goes over the client's head, and then you'll get females or men who misunderstand it. And because we misunderstand what you're saying, we're going to take it as this, and then we're just going to go attack mode. Right. But maybe the financial abortion is something that's plausible. I don't know, because I don't know the full premise of the idea. From what I've heard from other men explaining it, it just kind of sounds like broke guys who are mad about child support. Prime example, my brother-in-law's wife's baby's father pays $66 a month in child support. Yet he's damn near had a knockdown, drag out fight with my brother-in-law over this $66 a month. So it's like, financial abortion, bro, that's $66 a month. And yet you say this little girl is your heart, but you can't come up with $66 a month. You better go sell some ass or something. You know, if all you got to do is come up with, say again?
No, there's a lot of dudes that only, I'm going to tell you right now.
No, I said I'm gonna answer him when he's ready. I'm gonna break it down for him. Go ahead, BMG.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
A lot of dudes. I'm gonna show you one of the quickest hustles that niggas do. Whenever they know they're about to go to court, they quit their job. They quit their job, and you can't. Because all you're gonna do is you're gonna go before the family court, and they want to ask you, "What's your source of income?" If you don't got no source of income, they have to there's a calculator. They have to calibrate the calculator towards your source of income. Now, if a nigga is already on mental, like let's say he gets SSDI check, they're not going to tap into what you're already getting. If the state's already paying for you, but you're technically under the state, they're not gonna interfere with that. Like if you're getting a SSDI check or some shit like that, like some dudes, I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all could easily just set up an allotment with the broad and just be done with it. Like you could literally just say, "I'll take care of your daycare. Just leave me be." But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you cut ties, you don't need to be having no type of feeling when you see her with another man. When you cut ties, this is what people fuck up at. Charlene, I'm just using Charlene for an example. Charlene and whoever baby dad and her baby daddy, they don't got no, they suck together. Most dudes or most women don't want to come back into play until they see that person with another person and they're happy. That's when motherfuckers start feeling a certain type of way. Now all of a sudden they start brag. Now they start saying, "I pay," or "I do this," or "I do that." But I'm like, you wasn't even fucking with that person. So why do you care now? Why do you care now? You don't even fuck with Shannon. Shannon happy. He with his kids at Carowinds and shit. They don't give a fuck about you, nigga. I want to see my kids. Who's that broad in the background with my kids sitting on their lap with cotton candy and shit? And they all smiling. Oh, so you feel a certain type of way, but you feel like that's supposed to be your help. No, you out. You out. You out. Just like Dr. Dre. I think his kid, he had paperwork. See, where's Dre fucked up at? Dr. Dre fucked up when he got that diverse allotment shit set up. He tried to make it to where she can't go around any other type of man in her life. Dre, you should have said fuck that, pay her and leave. You didn't see Bezos do that. You didn't see, y'all need to learn from those old white men y'all be rapping about. Ain't none of them niggas ever be saying that crazy shit. They just give the broad the money and fucking leave, bro. Like let her go. Like just take the L and go on with your life. That's the ultimate win.
They feel like the woman is their property. That's why.
And that's when you're gonna hurt yourself. That's when you hurt yourself. You still trying to hold on to something that don't want you. That be shooting niggas in the foot. Like y'all niggas don't listen, man. Just because your dick was in it, don't mean you still in it. You was just there for the moment. That was it. Same thing I tell a lot of ladies. You see a nigga, if you see that nigga, you ain't fuck with that nigga. Move on. Kill them with living your best life. J.I. kill them living your best life. Alonzo kill them living your best life. Doggone. A lot of y'all just need to live your best life. Like I said, I don't have time to be on this vitriol shit. When motherfuckers be talking about the woes of life shit, I'm like, yo, my nigga, you need to let that shit go, bro. And then when people say, "Uh-oh, here you go with the no man," like it's interesting how people say the women have all the power. but the women have to go to men of power to get that said power. So are they going to women to get them the power or devices? But last time I checked, the most powerful people in the world are men. They don't give a shit what you fight or squabble about. Them old dudes sitting on that courthouse, you think they give a fuck about that? Man, they could probably have a bastard child somewhere out there. They don't give a damn. That child ain't gonna never make it to them. You think I'm trying to let y'all know, man, the game is cold. Like I said, this shit about like the 18, and you wanna know how you know black people were really serious? But all this goddamn nigga beef on YouTube and shit is corny. I'll take y'all serious when I start seeing y'all actually start putting up some lobbying accounts. You get what I'm saying? Let me actually start seeing y'all do some lobbying accounts. Not know, well, I'm going X, Y, and Z places and, don't know. Let somebody actually say every dollar or every $2 you donate goes into this account. And we're going to put it towards this person. That's how I know niggas in these spaces ain't about shit. Ain't nobody ever talked about lobbying. Ain't nobody ever talked about doggone doing no political. You know why? But you know damn well if they heard y'all message, they would kick y'all motherfuckers the fuck off. All they gonna have to do is look at YouTube. What do they talk about? Boop. Oh, we got them. That's it. That's how you know people are realistic about this shit. I'll give you so much as far as at least J.I. did a petition. The next level will have to be I'm now going to lobby. I'm actually going to go get somebody to actually go start looking into this stuff and start building a case study. And from a case study, now we take. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't understand J.I.'s whole logic, but hold on, J.I., because you want the woman to give financial abortion, right? Wouldn't it be smart of the man not to put himself in that situation where he has to shut out that money? Like that's what I don't understand. Like you're making this bill for the after effects. There's already things in place. There's plan Bs and there's abortions. Abortions are still happening. It's just on the state level. So I'm just like why do you need it?
All right, so Alonzo, I'm going to answer your question that we asked, and this is why the $66 is a problem, and this is why I always push back when I hear the argument. It's not that much. This is why it burns my blood when I hear it, and why I did what I did. I am a person that's about the principle of things. I'm not a person that's about the outcome. So people who are about the outcome are like, well, all's well that ends well. But no, people have died over the principle of things. When you see people that die over the principle of things, I'm one of those types of people because it's the principle of the issue that's the problem. It's not the amount of child support. It's the fact that he's being strong armed by the government to do this, and this woman is not being strong armed by the government to do this. Men are constantly put in these situations where we are forcibly made to do things that are egregious. Even when men have 50-50 custody, they still have to pay child support. Why? Because these systems are evil and men have not gone up against it. So let me explain to you what financial abortion was, because you said nobody's ever put it intelligently. This is simply what it is. It is not about men being responsible, because abortion, it by definition is about after pregnancy has occurred. So it has nothing to do with sexual responsibility. That's number one. When a woman goes to get an abortion or a Plan B pill, they don't say, well, were you sexually responsible? No, she has the right to do it. So it's not about being safe or responsible or preventing it. It's about a man's rights after the fact. That's number one. Number two, women have the right after the fact to have a Plan B pill, to have an abortion, depending upon the state, to just give up the child for adoption, leave it at a damn on the steps of a firefighter house. All these things, the man gets no more choice. This is wrong. Now, I don't believe that men should have a say over a woman's body, but I believe a man should have a say over his financial resources and involvement. So to make it fair, women will keep the autonomy over their body so they can decide. They still get to decide if they're even going to have a kid or not. But men should be able to say, no, you were just a jump off. I don't want to be with you anymore. I changed my mind. Whatever. I don't want anything to do with this. And if the woman still chooses to have it, then she should be treated as if she got a sperm donor and chose to be a single mother. That is what financial abortion is about. It's about it being fair. Now, I believe child support, period, should be abolished. Just period, because I don't believe it's the government's place to be dictating what families are doing with money and all that. I don't believe in any of that. And if this were the men of that from hundreds of years ago, they wouldn't even stand for this stuff. The government would have been overthrown, and it wouldn't even be an issue. It's only because we become so divided and softened in this day and age that this stuff is even allowed to happen in this country. But I strongly believe that it's going to be the pillar by which this country falls, because people don't understand how evil this really is and the hatred that this breeds in men's hearts because of its injustice. And I believe this is going to be one of the pillars that destroys this country because it's so unjust. Women, of course, don't care, which is why I don't care about their opinions on it, because it serves them. And the government knows that men are the only threat to the government, because men are going to be the only ones that will lay down the wood to actually go and storm the Capitol for real. Not like how they were playing, but for real. But that is what financial abortion is. Men deserve the right, just like women have the right, after pregnancy has occurred, to decide if they want to be parents or not and held responsible.
Oh my God. Well, the
No,
good
I,
thing.
oh,
Go
my
ahead.
bad.
Go ahead, Shannon.
I I actually agree with the financial abortion, but I know it's never going to happen because this is the third generation of guys with they were raised with single parents. It's not gonna. They're the irresponsibility is too high for it to ever happen. That's why a lot of men are fighting against it. They're not fighting against it because they're just against it, like they don't want to pay child support. But in fact, oh, my dad didn't pay child about. I understand it, but it's more for a boomer or silent generation than it would be for us, because our generation is not responsible. That's just period. I mean, dudes to make babies all day long, and if financial abortion was a thing, it's gonna make a mess because people don't care who they have babies by nowadays. Nobody, men or women, nobody cares, and that's why these laws are here in the first place. They saw a lick and they took it, because to get rid of all this child support crap, all men have to do is just stop making babies. Is that gonna happen? Hell no. And will the women stop using it as a way to get money? Hell no. So it's just it's a fight of the poor people. That's what it is. Because all these
I
rich men put these on play.
I agree with Shannon. It's a fight of the poor people, because you don't hear people with money talk like this or think like this. They already
That's
10
a
steps
lie.
ahead of the curve. I'm just saying, they already got the
That's a lie.
condom. They already got the condom and they got everything set up. Or
You can
they're with
Google
a
rich men
woman.
arguing about this on YouTube, complaining about not being able to see their children all the time. That's a lie. It's a lie.
Okay, but
Google,
they put
YouTube
themselves
it
in
right
that
now. It's
situation.
rich men talking about how they getting taken to the cleaners, can't see their kids. Not the poor. I know you think this is just lowly poor people talk. It's rich men too. The government's not discriminating out here. Have you heard the lead attorney? Have you gone and
Oh
watched
yeah,
his
it's more
channel?
I
wealthy men.
don't watch him. He's toxic. Nobody wants to listen to him.
He has told stories of well-to-do people suffering under this same system. It's not discriminating. Now, obviously, if you have more money, the YouTuber, the tech lead, he's a millionaire. He just got arrested
Mhm.
behind this child support stuff. See, y'all just be talking. Y'all don't, because you're a woman, you don't care because it's not gonna hit you. So I get that. That's why I don't listen to y'all, take y'all seriously, because you
I
don't.
mean, if
First off, you don't
I'm just
care. Number
saying, like,
one, and
you
number
guys
two,
have
it's never
precautions
gonna
you guys
affect you.
can take.
So I know you don't care.
You got
But for
precautions
men,
that you could take.
men,
Like, what do
we
you
have to
mean?
stop this madness because it's up to us. They don't care, and it's not their place to care. They're evil anyway. But we have to stop this, and we can't use this excuse that it's going to be difficult to do, because everything that's done was difficult to do. Ending slavery was difficult to do. Civil rights was difficult to do. Anything worth doing is going to be difficult to do. But it doesn't mean that we can't be done just because it's difficult to do.
If I can, Jay, I kind of have to agree with Shannon a little bit on this in terms of with the difficulty. It realistically, the major issue is the financial abortion is great for men who have means. But the difficulty is, again, like the dude with the $66 a month, right? Problem is, this dude has kids all over the place and he's irresponsible.
Yeah.
And, you know, so the major issue is the men with means, generally wealthier people are only having maybe 2 to 3 kids in a family. But then you've got unwealthy people. Like I've got family members who are, you know, a bunch of females on welfare, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 27 kids, because all they do is stay home, be big booty Brenda, bring some other irresponsible dude in who has no money and is not responsible. They don't have cable, so they're bored all day, and then they procreate. You know, the problem is, again, men with resources, we are going through this, and I think the financial abortion makes sense for them. But on a larger scale, it is a poor people's fight, and we've got more poor people who are popping out 9 and 10 kids. I know guys. In fact, I know a guy who makes barely $100,000 a year, which he thinks is a good amount of money, with 2 businesses. And he's got, I don't know, 4 kids. And he's always like, oh, well, you know, I want to have like 20 kids. But he's not married to any of these women, and he hasn't put a payment plan in place. So they're all going to become wards of the state. So then what ends up happening is less of a financial abortion, because now I am paying for him having slept with all of these big booty Brendas, though I didn't even get to watch him sleep with the big booty Brenda, let alone sleep with the big booty Brenda myself. Right?
Wow.
So go
No,
ahead.
it's not about people being poor, because poor men can have financial abortions just like rich men would be able to have financial abortions. And if these women choose to have these children outside of wedlock, and if we cut off abortion, I mean, if we cut off welfare and have financial abortion, these women understood the consequences, they would stop having these unwanted children.
Oh my God, you're coming.
They would stop having these unwanted children.
It takes
If
your
they only, I'm talking to Alonzo. The only reason that they do this is because it's incentivized. It's a reason they didn't do this before, because they understood that it was consequences. What the modern government in America has done is remove those consequences by by undermining the family unit with welfare and Section 8. That's what they did. They came in and they undermined the family unit. So now women can move out of order. You're talking about he's irresponsible. No, these women are irresponsible. You know how I know that? Because of my body, my choice. No child gets born that a woman doesn't allow to get born. All those women, it's not him. Those women chose to have it, because guess what? If any of those women said, "No, this dude's a loser. I like sleeping with him. He blow my back out, but he's not father material. I'm not gonna have his kid." Then that kid wouldn't get born, and that man couldn't force her to have it. This is on the responsibility of the women, because what we've done is give them freedom and made them equal to men under the law, but nobody respects that and holds them to that standard. So now even when these women choose to have these bastards, they still gets blamed on the men, because society refuses to see women as actual equals to men, even though they have all the power under the law in this situation. This is ridiculous.
It takes 2 to tango. A woman can't get pregnant by herself.
Yeah. Oh man.
In that sense, I can understand exactly what you mean. That's kind of one of the things where, like one of the things I say that happens in the world often is, you know, like I'm a man who I kind of understand polygamy, right? In the sense that I think men should have the option to have multiple wives. And the reason that a lot of women don't like it today, oh, well, I'm not sharing, you know, my man with nobody else. Yet, as you said, Future has, I don't know, 19 baby mamas now. And they're all, I guess, I'm going to be the one who has this baby that he's going to stay with. Even though I know the other 17 women that he's had a baby with, he hasn't stuck around. And once he has the baby, he doesn't pay child support, as evidenced by his most famous baby mama, Sierra, who's with Russell Wilson, who Russell Wilson told him, you can keep your little coins. So I can understand in terms of the irresponsibility of the women, right? But again, just like I said, society just really isn't going to look at it that way. If we go out on a date and the woman is wearing, platinum clothes and I'm wearing bum wear, they're still going to bring me the bill at the end of the meal. It's unfortunate, it's unfair, but it's always a man's world, right? Even though we've put these rules into place, again, a lot of these rules came into place because, hey, I have a daughter. I want to make sure my daughter has every advantage. And it has unfortunately ballooned. But there's got to be some kind of at least a happy medium that we can come to. And, after articulating it, the financial abortion actually sounds pretty sound to me.
Sir, how is that not a happy medium when the woman, let me ask you, all the women that had a child by Future, if they all chose not to have a child and said, I'm not going to carry your child, how many kids would Future have?
None.
Could Future say, I'm Future, I'm a celebrity, I'm rich and famous, I command you to have my child? Could Future do that?
No.
Nope.
So all these kids, we know why they do it, because they're incentivized to do it. And again, saying that the world is not fair, I get that. The world is not fair, but that's why people fight against injustice. People like me that won't just say, well, the world's not fair, so I'm just going to take it. No. That mentality keeps people in shackles longer than they should be there. I am not going to say just because the world's unfair, I should accept this. I am going to push back against it every chance I get. And I'm going to voice it, even though it's always unpopular. And I'm going to not let up an inch, because we sit up here and say women are equal to men. We tell this lie all the goddamn time. Okay, fine. But then we want to make everything the man's fault because, like you said, it's a man's world. No, they can't have it both ways. They can't have it both ways, and we got to stop letting them have it both ways. Go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah, that's the only thing with the future.
You're Borgin, Shannon.
Give me a second.
Shannon, we can't hear you. What's up, Brother Rob?
I was just about to say the same thing.
I don't know if he's there, if he's just listening from the clouds. But my point is this. Oh, go ahead, BMT.
Yeah, like I said, because I'm looking at everything, and this is something that somebody threw out. Do these guys who knock up these multiple women, do they knock up women that are equal to them or less than?
I would say it doesn't matter, but it's both. They're just women, but I would say it doesn't matter if they're lesser or equal. No.
It does matter. It does matter. Let me tell you why. Because you want to. Okay, so let's look at it like this. Let's say ain't shit dude. Yeah, he can knock up a lot of ain't shit broads. Fine enough, fine. But there's something different on a woman who has capabilities of, she's a nurse or she has shit going for her. That's a different caliber, because now you just impeded the growth of somebody. Just like if a guy was going to Lonzo Ball, like we hearing that he just got a IG girl pregnant. Would he still have the same access to that IG girl if he wasn't a basketball player? See, just like you don't have to go to a third world country, you just got to go date downward. A lot of Nick Cannon's baby mamas, look at their jobs. Girl who holds the card for like the his show. Like all she does is hold the cue cards, or like the woman who works on The Price is Right that just sticks her finger out in front of the items and shit. Like these are like people who make like they're like little models. Models don't make money, you know. Now, if you were to say somebody that has like, if you were to say he knocked up a doctor, you know, a politician, okay. But you know, if you don't hear that the top 10%, you don't hear about them getting knocked up. You're never going to hear. And I would challenge anybody to go find where people who are on their purpose just getting knocked up and having babies. They don't do that. They don't make those type of mistakes. Lower hanging fruit caliber people, for whatever reason, that don't care about their womb or their penis, they'll do that shit. Future don't care. I mean, he does not care. He don't care for that type of shit. It's one of those types of things, man. Like the vices of the powers that be are set up in place where this is the anti-shame American culture. You can't shame nobody in American society holistically. If the president himself don't feel shame, why would anybody on the pecking order feel any type of shame? CJ, the guy who got Brittany Renner or whatever pregnant, you know, the IG girl, he did it again. He got another IG model pregnant. Can I feel bad for that nigga if she puts him on child support? No. I can't feel bad for him. I can't.
Because
I don't feel bad for him.
that doesn't make it right. Just because it's legal,
No.
that doesn't make child support right. That's like saying once upon a time it was
He
okay
did not learn
to
from
hit
his
women.
experience.
Listen. That's like, you know what I hear when I hear that? That's like saying, okay, it's legal to hit women, and you talk back to one man, he knocked your teeth out. You talk back to another man, he knocked your teeth out. You wouldn't say, well, you know, it's she shouldn't just be talking back. No, nobody would think that is an acceptable answer. And that's the same thing I hear when I hear these people try to excuse the government strong arming men. It does not make it right just because it's allowed to happen. That doesn't make it right.
Wait. So the guy used his influence to get access to a girl, right?
Yes.
And he used his influence, right? So he strong-armed with his influence to get the girl.
He didn't strong arm. He used his influence, though. Yes. Because it's not strong. Strong arm means it's against your will. Child support is forced on you at gunpoint by the government. He didn't force her to have sex with him at gunpoint.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Wait. I want to show you how. I'm gonna show you how it works. Let's say us five guys, we're average Joes.
Okay.
A superstar athlete or whatever guy, he's going to take his influence and his power and strong arm the conversation. Say, look at what I got. Look at X, Y, and Z. He's going to strong arm his influence over us. Works every time, dude. He's going to do that. He going to buy the whole bar. He going to do X, Y, and Z. Everybody,
that's not strong arming though. He can flex on us because he's richer than us. So yeah, he can outdo us monetarily.
But flexing is strong arming in a sense because you're actually trying to show. Okay, it's no different than the animal kingdom. Whoever can dominate the other males, guess what? They get the pick of the pride. That is a strong arm move in the animal kingdom. Same
in the
thing
animal
for
kingdom
men.
Because it's with violence in the animal kingdom. They're gonna fight, and whichever lion loses, he either dies or he leaves before he dies. That's strong arm.
Okay.
It's not strong arm when we do it, because strong arm implies that there's violence or the threat of violence that does it.
No.
The women that he attracts because he's rich, that they were drawn to him because of his monetary status and his ability, but they weren't forced to go with him.
Okay, so what do you call it when you strong arm a company?
What do you mean?
What do you call it when you strong arm a company?
Hostile takeover.
There you go. What do you call that's a term.
That's a hostile takeover. That's a business term.
That's a normal term in business.
It's a hostile takeover. That's not strong arming though.
But it's not hostile, but it's hostile. They don't actually strong arm.
That's a business term. It's not
strong arming. They give you no choice.
But you're thinking of people running up in there with guns. But no, you are muscling your way through the, like, there have been CEOs removed from their own corporation.
Yeah, but
Plenty of
that's
times.
not that's in a business realm under those business rules. That's not under threat of violence or under
Well,
or under any type of duress in that manner. Him being
well,
able to attract a chick because she wants to go with him, that's not strong arming. Her saying, just because I had your kid, the government's going to force you to pay me X amount of money, or you're going to go away, possibly get killed in the struggle if you try to resist, that is
what can they
strong
force?
arming.
What can they force? Honestly, I would ask you this: what can they force?
What can they can force him to pay whatever
other than
amount of child support a judge declares he has to pay.
So you're telling me he doesn't have the cognitive sense to put on a condom?
This is not, see, this is what they're trying to do. BMT, you already know what I'm gonna say to that. You already know what I'm going to say to that.
Bro, you can't do that. You cannot do that. No, man. You're telling me a guy who makes multi-million dollars, who has to be able to memorize plays, play actions. Hold up. You're telling me he already got hit one time. Why would you not put on a condom? Come on, man. Like, no, J.I., like, you're not.
You know what I hear, BMT? You know what I hear when you just said that? I hear she went to that one party and got raped. Why would she go to another party? If she get raped at that party, why is she going to parties?
You tried that.
Why is she keep going to parties? She knows she got raped at a party.
Question.
Why does she keep going? Hold on. That's what I hear when y'all make those arguments. It sounds that ridiculous to me, because it's ridiculous to try to justify the wrongdoing of the strong arming of the government and trying to justify it by saying it happened to him once.
Why are you making it about the government?
It was wrong the first time, and it's going to be wrong the second time.
I got one right here. Let me stick this in real quick, just real quick. I'll use me as an example, so to make it easier. So we all get together and we do the financial abortion thing, right? Soon as that goes into act, I decide I'm gonna make me 20 kids. Is it the women's problem or is it a man problem?
It's the woman's problem, because the woman, you couldn't make any kids if 20 women didn't decide to have it.
That's what I want to know.
If those 20 women said, I'm not having a child for Shannon because he already has kids, I'm not going to have kids for him, I'm waiting till I get married, then you couldn't force them to have it. So that's the woman's choice.
It'd be cool for me to make 20 kids then. That's what I want.
You can't make 20 kids. Those 20 women got to have them. You cannot force her to have them. You can't force her to do it. You keep saying if you go make it, like you have to say. You don't have to say, Shannon. The woman has to say. The woman chooses.
So
unless you think you can force her to have it.
So if they let me have all 20 of them,
then those women chose to have all 20.
Then I get the financial abortion on all 20.
Yep.
It's all the 20 women fault.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I want to know, because the conversation keeps going in circles. So that's what I want to know.
Yes, it's their fault, because each one of them chose. They got whole
channels dedicated to pander to men to think like this. I got it. Yeah, that's all I need to know.
But did anybody get what I'm saying about this?
Yes.
About this? Anybody understand about the CJ guy, the basketball player?
Yes.
Yeah, you said the same. You're actually
Washington,
saying the same thing I'm saying, BMT.
It's a false comparison.
No, you know what's crazy? None of his fellow teammates feel bad from him anymore, because they're now seeing like, yo,
no, they don't.
They're like, yo, we telling you that this broad ain't shit. That's like everybody done had a chance with this one chick, and I'm at bat, and y'all tell me, bro, do not. She is problems. Trust. I get her pregnant. Can any of y'all niggas feel bad for me? No, but y'all told me. I now understand. Just like if the females tell Charlene, don't fuck with BMT, and she still fucks with me and she gets fucked up, you know what she gonna do? Y'all girls, y'all were right. We told you. I told you.
If they say, if her friends say, you know what, don't mess with him because he be whooping ass, and she say, no, I'm gonna mess with him, and then he be whooping her ass, that doesn't make it legally okay for her to be getting her ass whooped just because we wouldn't feel bad for her. The law still would be like, no, you still can't be whooping her ass. It's still not legally okay. I'm talking about a legal issue. I'm not talking about this personal, the person to person, what I think is smart or stupid. I'm talking about from a legal vantage point, what the law allows. And it's not okay for men to be getting taken advantage of by the government for any reason. I don't care how stupid he was, how much of a simp he was. And if we gonna say that, if we want to get cutthroat like that and just say, well, it's in the game, and chalk it up to the game, then men, we need to go ahead and start working to get these laws stripped away from women, and then tell women, just suck it up. It's part of the game.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna
this
get.
is
But people don't
a
want to
You're
do
bad
not
that.
gonna
message.
get
People just
human
want men to
rights.
suffer. People don't want to do
You're
that
not
though.
gonna get
Oh, okay.
human rights stripped. You're not gonna get human rights stripped away from people, J.I. You're not gonna get that. Like nobody's gonna give you that card in America, bruh. Like you my dog, but nobody. You're gonna have to find a judge that's like, men are getting their kids now. Men are getting their kids. Like women are now like giving kids to men. Like, but they're not going to take away no rights from no women. Like they're not doing that, bro. Like that they have too much of a multi-billion-dollar voting power. That's a political suicide.
And that's why men are going to have to band together to get our rights on the books, just like any other culture, any other time in history. Men are going to have to band together to force it to happen because they're not going to just give it. Men are going to have to make it happen. That's all throughout history. Men got together, said we need to change this, and they get it changed. However you want to do it.
Okay.
But men are going to have to do that.
J.I., you better off going to a third world country with your mindset. It might go farther.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah,
There's really
I
not a
will
third
help
world.
you.
There's no third world countries. It's kind of a myth. It's like when people talk about Africa or something, they think people run around butt naked chasing animals. It ain't like that. I mean, there's small little pockets where it's like that, but the majority of it it looks just like America. You know, it's the whole, the rhetoric and the talk is just getting so crazy now, and the whole everything. These women don't have no power. They don't have no power in America. They got these little silly laws. Is it because it's like cheese on a rat trap? You know what I mean? Like that's the only power women got. They really can't do nothing to you. You know, like they can't do anything. You have to literally take the bait to get in all these old different laws, get into child support. You really have to do that to yourself. If you have 6 kids by 6 women, they put you on child support, then nobody do shit to you. You went and done that dumb crap. You know what I'm
Tell
saying?
that
Like
to all the men that have had their lives
law is-
destroyed by women lying on them about false accusations of sexual anything.
I've been on child support before. And
I
I've
didn't
had
say
my
child
kids since they
support.
were born.
I said tell
It's
that
not-
to men who have had their lives destroyed by women lying on them about sexual misconduct just because the woman got their feelings hurt or he broke up with them or whatever. To say this asinine, you know what, y'all got it.
How do you do that? How do you get so bad up to your woman? How do you get so bad with a woman that she will accuse you for something like that? How do you get to that point?
Well,
so now it's the man's fault when the woman lies. Listen.
No.
It just gets
How do you
better
get
and
to
better.
that point?
It just gets better and
How
better.
do you get to
y'all.
that point?
I don't tell me.
How do you get to that point?
Well, I would say this to Shannon. You can't really predict what a woman gonna do to you or not. Because you don't know. You don't know. You can be doing everything right, and then you break up with her because you don't want to deal with her no more. And she can still go online and say, I got raped. And guess what? Who's got to defend that? The man.
Has it happened to you? Has that happened to you?
Has that happened to me? No, that has not happened to me.
It's happened to me?
But has it happened to you? I don't know. You tell me.
What is with
we have
these
cases
crazy
that has
scenarios?
happened. We have history.
I'm just saying, because you're telling me about my story, so I'm just trying to see where you're coming from.
I'm not. What story?
He's trying to make it seem like if it didn't happen to you, then then what's the big deal, man? These lies. This is why men like this, you just gotta leave them be, because we live in a world of Me Too where women can just say anything and men get caught up, and we understand. I'm not about to sit up here try to convince a man that women can lie on men and destroy their lives. I'm not gonna try to convince somebody.
Yeah,
if you
they
don't
can do
believe
that.
that's true, then you
Yes,
don't
they
believe
can do.
it's
I
true.
believe
But
all
I'm
that.
not
Yes,
gonna
they
try
can
to
do that.
convince no grown man in 2022 in this space where literally all we do is give examples of this happening time and time and time and time again, that this is a real thing. It's got to be crazy.
But
All that's real. How do you get there? How do you get that? How do you get a woman to accuse you of rape? How do you get there? Do they just
It's
walk
men
down the
who
street?
won't even get into elevators with women because they're afraid of those false accusations.
I
You don't have
wouldn't
to do
either.
anything. Just you don't have to do anything to
You don't
get
have
there.
to do anything. That's
You
what's
don't
going
have
on.
to
Do
do
you really
anything for
believe
women to lie
that?
on you.
Are you looking for content, or do you believe that?
Well,
This is crazy.
Shannon,
Yo, J.I. got me laughing over here.
with
No, because
Shannon,
I'm serious. Like some of this rhetoric is like you're looking for content.
Charlene, that's not funny, Charlene.
It's funny.
No,
You had to go in the
I don't think
elevator.
it's. I don't think
Of course, you don't give a shit.
from JI's point, he's looking for content. He's really serious about this. I've listened to him for a long time. He's serious. He's not for content. He's really
Oh, that's
serious.
what's making it weird.
But here's the thing.
I know it's hot.
Let me tell you about where I actually work. We have it where you don't even have to talk to the woman about something sexual. If she overhears you saying it to another person, they can file on you.
Yeah, let me give my story so we can have some real stories in the conversation. So say for instance you're a dude and your kids live with you from birth, right? And then one year they get about in the 7th grade, right? And then when they get to the 7th grade, they be like, I want to go to school with mom because their schools over there are better, and I want to do sports, right? And then you'd be like, oh, okay. Hey, the kids want to come stay over there. As soon as them kids sign up for the school, she runs down there for child support. Ain't had the kids for like 10 years. And then you get put on child support, and then they back child support you for what, 10 years? 10, 11 years? Because this was before they changed the law. And now you owe, what I owe? 28 grand? Yeah, 28 grand worth of kids you had. And when you go in there and tell the people your situation, they don't even listen to you. And then when you tell them, I don't work, I quit my job. And then they go there and just run your social security number and pull up your whole history. Do you know they could pull up your bank account? Do you know they pull up my bank account? They pulled up my savings account. They pulled up my 401k. All this crap. I know the real stories.
They
strong armed you, right?
That's strong arming.
So this is what I'm telling you. When you learn all this stuff in real life, all this crap about making babies and nutting holes and all this crap, you start to see the light. All this old careless ass, well, shit, hey, I nutted in the girl and I shouldn't have to pay if I don't want to. You start to think about that stuff then. Then you don't get in those situations and you can live your life. But if you run around here, well, shit, I might nut in this one, I might not nut in that one, but I'm gonna just do what I want to do. Then the stuff comes with
laws that allow that, which is what I'm fighting to change.
So what I'm trying to explain to you is that the single parenting and all these babies and stuff ain't going away because you change the law. It's actually going to get worse.
No, and that's where we disagree. Because when women didn't have these welfare nets and all this stuff,
they wouldn't let you get them pregnant, right? They don't like sex.
They made better decisions because of the consequences.
So if we change the laws, the women are going to start making better decisions and the men are not. We stay where we at.
If we change the law, go ahead, Brother Rob, because we've been talking.
I've been listening, and then I had to take a phone call, so respectfully, I missed a chunk of what you guys were talking about. But I did hear the financial abortion point that you had made and things of that nature. I would say that what we are talking about is a broken system. This system wasn't created by us, and fidelity just wasn't part of it. If we being honest, right? You know, at the time they had, you know, an overwhelming majority of children that were living in poverty, and this is following World War II. This is when they was trying to put, you know, the country back together, and these laws were passed in, and then due to, you know, changes in the economy, you know what I'm saying, and then, you know, inflation of the 70s, you know, the laws were passed at a time when things were getting built up, you know what I'm saying, and then of course with inflation you have to raise the price, right, of child support, right, and then it got out of control, you
In
know,
the
in the
90s.
in the 90s
Yeah.
because of the crack era. We can't overlook that. That is a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. And so the burden, you know, what's not true. The burden of trying to take care of those children. That was I felt like that was the elephant in the room that was missing. You know, I'm an educator, so of course I might be somewhat biased, right? But what about the children? A lot of times the problems between you know, the mother and the father of the child, and the bitterness of them even being brought to the world against the will of the father, you know, is, you know, all of those things affect the children. And so I would say that we definitely have to have a comprehensive plan, you know, to address the pain of them children, and try to turn them out into society. Everybody can't be an Uber driver. You feel me? You know, everybody can't push brooms and be a forklift operator. You know, we do need lawyers. You know, I don't know if y'all know this. There's a, you know, we got too many sick people and not enough doctors. That's real. We don't have enough people going to, you know, finishing medical school in a way to where, you know, it can address the sickness of our society. These are comprehensive things that we need to take a look at. I mean, that's real, bro. I understand that the system is broken. We got to organize to fix the system. You know, it got to. I mean, they addressing all these other big issues. Roe versus Wade, that $20,000 forgiveness for student loans, and you see what I mean? They addressing big issues now. You know, maybe this is an issue that we can definitely organize, like BMT was saying earlier, organize and address. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not gonna get any better unless we address it. You know, I mean, I done heard ideas. I think some of these ideas are reasonable, but then you have to look at reasonable, legal aspects of it so that it can actually get passed. I mean, rhetoric on YouTube is one thing. Actually passing bills through a House of Congress in any state that's pretty much ran by people that's on the right, man, that's gonna be difficult. So I'm gonna sit back and keep listening. You know what I'm
Let me
saying?
tell you the real
I have,
solution,
I have a
because this is
question.
the real
Wait,
solution, brother
no, I
Rob. No,
got a question.
you wait. Hold on,
I got a question for
brother Rob.
JI. I
This
got a
is the
question.
Hold on.
Go
This
ahead.
is the answer to your question, brother Rob, of how to fix the system. Because contrary to popular belief, I have given this a lot of thought for a very long time. I've had debates on this. I've done extensive research on it. This is how you fix the system. And shout out to you for being an You said you're a teacher, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. I mean, I've been in many roles in the school. I've been a mentor, you know, a homeroom teacher. I've been a dean, but I felt like I
Shout
was
out to you
best
for that.
suited in the classroom. So, you know, that's where I've been at the last 3 years in the classroom teaching, and I love it.
All right, and respect to you. I taught for 3 years. I left. I was at the elementary level. I left out on third grade. Listen, you talking about these kids? I feel you. When you see these kids homeless, when you see these kids dealing with the parents, the nonsense, sir, that is not anything that society can fix. That is a familial issue. Families have to fix that. And here's how we fix it. We have a return to families. Here's how you get a return to families. You make it clear that you have to depend upon yourself and your family to survive. You don't get any more welfare. There's no more child support. So if you have these kids and you can't afford them, you're going to have to rely on your family like back in the day. This is why family ties were strong, because you had to rely on each other for survival. You're going to have to either get married and do it the right way, or you're going to have to rely on your extended family and work together that way. That is the only way to fix the issue. You do not fix the government will never fix the issue, because it's not the government's job. What the government has done is destroyed the family. That's why today, when you go over to Western cultures, when you go over to Eastern cultures and things, the family is far more intact. And that's one reason why immigrants are so successful when they come here, because they work together, because they have stronger family ties. We don't have those ties here because the government undermines family at every step of the way. So what I'm saying would actually fix the family unit over time.
Well, I heard you. Your point is well taken, good brother. Right? But in the political climate, and just being somewhat familiar with politics, trying to pass, the eradication of welfare and child support is radical. And I just don't think reasonably you would be able to go to any house, any state house across the country and get that passed. And I'm being just honest with you, brother.
Would you agree that they said the same thing about freeing slaves?
No.
Well, that was inevitable.
No. It's not that was inevitable.
Would
you agree that people have said that this is impossible about other things that have gotten passed?
They only abolished slavery.
No. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking.
You're talking to somebody who is somewhat familiar with history.
I just need a yes or no. Do you think that people said that this is impossible, this will never pass, about things like slavery, women's rights, gay marriage, a black president? Do you think that there were people that said that these things would be impossible as well? Yes or no?
No.
You don't think that there was people that said that would be impossible?
You asked me for a yes or no answer, so I gave it to you.
All right.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, right, it's really not a yes or no question, and the reason why I answered that it was inevitable was because it wasn't sustainable.
Right.
And eventually, and eventually, you know what I'm saying? And eventually, if that war would not have happened, at the time, eventually it would have happened. You know what I'm saying? It would have.
It's all about the. It was all.
And this is Thanos too. This is inevitable. This is just as inevitable.
The Dred Scott decision set us on a collision course for civil war. That is a historical fact.
This is just as inevitable.
Okay.
You need a court case, brother. That's what you need. You need a court case. You need some type of bill, some type of legislation to get what you are saying passed, to make it a reality. What I'm telling you is, no matter, your point is well taken, sir. But in no state house across America are you gonna get welfare cuts and child support cut. That's just a fact.
Welfare is not going to be cut because the rich people will never allow that to happen. Grocery stores already have a small profit margin. If they got rid of welfare, oh man, they would go under quick. Because I know they depend on that every month.
You are right. You are right about that, Shane. That is a fact. But they have said similar things about everything else that has come to pass, about women's rights, about black presidents, about blah, blah, blah. Nobody thinks things are possible until they get done. I get that.
True indeed.
But this is going to get done just like everything else.
I just feel like, the focus should be on, trying to get a more equitable system for child support. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, they need to make it a little fair.
yeah, and I mean the abolishment of it. I just feel like that would be too radical, politically speaking. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody-
What I would on child support, what they really need to do, they should, because I'm not really against you on the whole child support thing. I think it's shit. If you'd asked me about 5 or 6 years ago, when oh man, because I hated women, I would have said the same thing. But more likely, that could be kind of realistic. They should make it only for married people. Like if you're married to a guy and then y'all get a divorce or whatever, then you can get child support that way. But all this, I'm just having the random baby having and then run down there for child support and all that crap. Yeah, I think they should get rid of that. So because I don't like that one.
I
All
kind
right,
of agree with you.
I like to say something just to go
Go ahead.
against J.I.'s argument. I was looking at this online. I think they should put this in effect. The woman could sue a person who get them pregnant.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
yeah,
they already got that in
That's
they
great.
got that up north.
It's in
yeah.
Canada. It's in Canada.
No, for real. I think this should
That's
go into
crazy.
effect because just imagine you're 17, 18 years old, and let's say you mess with somebody who's 22 or 24, or let's say you're
Wow.
21 and you mess with somebody who's 26, and they're telling you they're not gonna come in you, and they're gonna pull out, or let's say they poke a hole into the condom, or they do something crazy like that, and you end up getting pregnant.
That's
Yeah,
called stealthing, and that's illegal. Now that is illegal.
Yeah, that's illegal.
That's
Stealthing is
actually a
illegal.
crime.
and
That's
that
no
does
crime.
happen. It does happen. I think just as much as J.I. talk about that, I think women should sue whoever who gets them pregnant.
Now
Check
listen,
this
man.
out
Well,
though.
they already got a case for that. There's already court case.
Listen, man.
That's a
Listen to
storm.
what
I'm
she's
just
saying.
Wow.
I'm not taking any sides. I'm just putting
Listen
it
to
out
what
there.
she's saying.
It
It's
actually is
already
a case.
illegal to do the stealthing thing. That's already
I'm gonna
illegal,
go on
number
mute.
one. But listen to what she said, man. Men, I need y'all to hear me in the audience. These women are wicked. She has no problem with women being able to sue men for getting them pregnant. And see how she just easily, gleefully said it. Listen, y'all, women will do what's in their best interest at every step of the way. And for that, I cannot blame them. They're wicked creatures, but at least they're wise enough to understand we don't go against our self-interest. Men, we go against our self-interest all the time. Every time a man pushes back on me on financial abortion, what I say, that's a man going against his self-interest. You don't hear women doing that because they're smart enough to know that even if this is completely unfair, it'll benefit me. And they click up and they will go to it. She's gonna be supporting these Canadian women every step of the way with them suing motherfuckers that got them. See, this is the type of insanity. You
I
see,
fully agree.
women
Yes.
are not
Okay.
going against women. Men,
Can I-
y'all need to take note of that. And let me
Can I
say
ask
this:
you
No.
she didn't say that that's unfair. Hold on, let me say this last thing. Women don't care about new law. See, it would sound crazy to me to say that you should be able to sue somebody if they got you pregnant for consensual sex. Women don't hear that and say, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. I chose to have sex with him. No, they don't do that. They say, if I can get away with this, I'm going to do it. And men, we shoot ourselves in the foot all the goddamn time. All you men that fight against me, and listen to what she just said out her mouth. This is why women beat us at every turn.
Well, yeah, because we're obsessed with women. That's it. But I do have a question for creative.
Yes.
Okay. Now you saying that a woman should sue a man for getting her pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
In what situation would she be able to sue him for?
Well, I wouldn't say nowadays because people are being educated on their rights and things like that. But for a woman to get pregnant, you know how much that, and then she tells everybody she's pregnant. You know, you get looked at certain kind of ways.
That man
And
asked you a
even
simple question, and you're talking all around it.
Let her finish, Jan.
She's not even answering your question.
Let her get to it.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. Yeah, so she gets looked at like you know, it's very hard to have an abortion just as much as to have a child. Both of those choices are very hard, and especially on a woman's body.
Okay, But the question is,
No, bro,
in what
speak. She put a period on that and know damn well she didn't answer your question. Do you see this?
I got it.
Man, y'all just be letting them get away with
I
murder.
got it. Creative. I asked a simple question. In what situation would she be able to sue a man for getting her pregnant?
I would say if the man says he's gonna pull out and he doesn't, number one, I would say that scenario. And if she gets raped.
Okay. Well,
that's understood though.
okay, well that's I can understand those parts. Now, are you saying now if we get together, she decides to have sex with me, raw, understanding the issue that can happen, do you think she should be able to sue a man for getting her pregnant?
If she tells him that don't come inside of me,
no,
and he understands that, and he says,
I get that. I get that part.
I'm
talking about if she didn't tell him that.
They know that's consensual sex. They know. I don't.
Okay.
How would you prove that she said that or not? How would you prove that, Creative?
Well, man, I don't know. They
How
probably had
would
a
you prove it?
conversation about it before.
No, not the conversation. How would she prove that? Because people aren't signing contracts before they bust them cheeks out. How would she prove it?
That's hard to prove.
This is going to turn into another one of those.
Wait, JI. It's the same thing like what you're saying. Talking about how
it's not.
Oh, I'm gonna come inside the woman, but if she has the baby, it's on her. I told her this.
No. I'm talking about a legal measure.
Wait. How are you gonna prove to the woman that you told her that?
It's not proven to her nothing. It's
okay. There we go.
Outside of her. It's in the law. She's pregnant, and I go to the law financial abortion. That has nothing to do with her. Mine has nothing to do with her. It would be a legal right that if she says that she's pregnant, and I get that phone call or I get that letter in the mail, hey, come down to the courthouse. Hey, she says she's pregnant, or she has this baby here. Do you want any parts of this? Nope, financial abortion. All right, goodbye. She's on her own.
I don't think, J.I., the concept that you have sounds good, but to go in the court seat women don't even find out they're pregnant until they're almost 2 months. And just to think
what did I just say?
Hold on, can I then you gotta wait for a court date? And that's gonna probably take 3 or 4 months, or she's 4 months along, and then you want her to abort.
She can. No, I didn't say anything about her aborting. Why are you lying on me? Why do you keep lying on me? Stop lying on me. I didn't say anything about her aborting.
You just said
I get called to the courthouse and they say, J.I., this bitch is pregnant. She got this baby. Do you want any parts of this? And I say no. She just a jump off.
Okay, J.I., but how long is that gonna take?
Well, no. What part of that is her being forced to have an abortion? Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because if you say no, right, you already came inside of her. She's already producing your child. Like I don't know.
How am I forcing her to have an abortion? Explain that to me.
Because if you say no, I don't want no parts, then she's a sucker. She has to go have the baby by herself, or she's forced to have an abortion.
No. By her allowing herself to get pregnant, she chose to have a child.
Wow. So
see, you're not thinking. There you go.
So
there you go.
So why do you sleep with women?
No. What part of that is me forcing her to have an abortion?
Women as if they're discardable.
No. What part of what I said
you don't even care.
Is me forcing her to have an abortion? Because that's what you said. You said you're forcing her. How am I forcing her to do anything when she has the choice? Explain that to me, because you said that about me. So now tell me how I'm forcing her to do anything.
Because she's gonna take in effect that, okay, I got pregnant by this guy, or he doesn't care. And obviously, how he feels is going to impact the decision I make.
No. She gets to make the decision. So if she didn't want to be in that situation, what should she have done? No, Creative, let's walk through it. What should she have done if she didn't want to be in that situation?
What should you have done if you didn't want to be in that situation?
No. This is not about me, because you said it's her body. So what should she have done if she didn't want to be pregnant? What should she have done?
Both of you guys should wear protection.
It's not no both. It's not no both. What should she have done if she
It's
doesn't want to be
both.
pregnant.
It takes two to tango. You gonna throw it all on her?
Creative. See, and this
I
is
don't
why
think
you're insane and why you have to lie on me every 2 seconds, because you don't make any kind of sense
How I
whatsoever.
don't make any kind
it
of sense. You want to push the
creative.
blame on the woman.
Creative. I
Insanity.
kind of see what J.I. is saying.
Kind of.
On the woman end, there is a choice.
The
Now,
man has
let's
a
just
choice
say,
too.
so,
Who told the man to come inside the
no.
woman? Who told
Now,
the man to inject his sperm inside of her
why are you
and
let?
treat her
Why
as
you
she's
let? But
discardable?
again,
Why did he do
but
that? Why
that's
why
on
does
his.
he
But that's on his
wait?
end
Why does he feel like he could do that?
This is
because she allowed him
Why
to.
can't he do that? Why does he feel like he has the right to do that to any
Because she
woman that
allowed
he
him
comes
to.
in contact with?
Did he force himself on her, or did she allow him to nut
She
in her
allowed it.
mouth?
None of these situations are forceable. So we can just take that off the table right
We're
now.
not.
She
We're
allowed
not
it.
Okay, well,
talking
you
about.
gave her your
We're not
sperm,
talking
so
about.
it is what it is. There you
We're
go. You
not
should never
talking
give her your
about.
sperm.
Justin.
We're not talking about grape. We're talking about consenting adults. She let this dude hit it raw,
Okay, so now
knowing that they understand. So on her end, I'm not talking about his end. I'm talking about on her end. She has a choice at that point. If she get pregnant, if this financial abortion comes on, she has a choice. She can choose to have the baby and whatever that comes with that, or she chooses to have the abortion. But here's the thing: she put herself in that situation by letting this dude hit it raw. We're not talking about
okay.
we're not talking about somebody getting
Question,
stabbed. We're not.
Both speak. Did the man put himself in that situation also?
Yeah, but we're talking about on the woman's side. We're not
The
talking about
man
on
did
the man's
too.
side.
All right, there we go.
I agree with you on the man's side. I agree with you on that part. But we're talking about just on the woman's side. That she chose. He didn't grape her. He didn't stealth her. He didn't poke holes in the condom or nothing like that. She chose in that moment to let this dude hit it raw, knowing that, hey, he might nut in me, I might get pregnant. So if we go, if financial abortion is in place, that still doesn't take away her choice of what she's going to do with this child. It's just that now he don't have to be responsible financially for what happened.
Yeah, so I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right because it's an echo. I think it's on your side. We'll speak. Okay, so I don't think that's right because you already came inside of her. So there's a baby that's being made inside of her. Like I don't think you know. Like there's something that's being made. Like it's extracting energy from her.
She could be on birth control.
And basically she's making a baby right now. The baby is growing inside of her day by day.
Or she
so
could
that
be
means
trying
that's
to hit
what
a
she
lick.
wanted to happen, but that doesn't mean that the man should be forced to be a part of it. If she has sex raw without being on birth control,
it doesn't
she
matter.
knows what happens. Men should have the right to be able to say, "No, I want no part of this,"
You
and
guys
walk away.
want men to go have sex willy-nilly and not to worry about no consequences.
No. Men are already doing that. This is not about wanting men. That's already happening. I don't know what you
You
think
just want to
is
put
happening
more
in the
icing
world.
on top of the cake so you
No,
don't
men are
have
already
to worry
doing
about
that.
anything.
And the
That's
reason
what
these
you want.
women think like you is because we've given women equal rights to men, but not equal accountability. And anybody would understand if men got pregnant, we wouldn't have all these kids running around because men understand, no, I don't want these kids. This is just a jump off. Women will carry a child to term by a man that she's not even with because she's legally allowed to, and she knows that the man's going to be strong armed to be there or at least financially contribute.
J.I., have you had an
That's
abortion?
why they do it.
Did you have an abortion? Have you ever had an abortion?
Have I had them? I'm a man. Of course I haven't had no abortion.
So you can't talk on that. So you don't know what it feels
that
like.
has nothing to do with anything.
What it entitles.
That has nothing
You
to
can't
do
talk
with
on
anything.
that.
I should have the right to have financial abortion because when y'all do that, that's y'all financial abortion. And men deserve the same right. Yes, we do.
You need to go listen to abortion stories. Go sit
I don't care about
down
abortion
into a group
stories.
session
I don't
where
care
women
about it.
had abortions
I don't
and go
care
listen to
about
them.
it. It
But
doesn't. I don't
creative,
care about it. But she
may
because she
I
put
just say
herself in that
something?
situation.
There's
Go ahead.
people who still go into therapy 10 years later
I
because
don't
they
care
had
if the bitch
abortion.
go to therapy till the day she died. Fuck that bitch.
Exactly.
I
So you
don't
don't
care.
care about the woman. She's discardable
But
to
I
you.
don't.
but
I
There
don't.
we
creative.
go.
I
So you
don't.
But
should tell women that when you meet them, you're
I don't.
discardable. I don't like you, and I
I
just want
don't
to fuck
care.
you. That's what you
but
should tell
I
them.
don't care, creative. I don't care. Go ahead, bro. Speak.
but creative. Here's the thing. You want to talk about that's their seed. Some dudes don't care about their seed like that. But you as a woman, if you're gonna be the one that got to go through all this stuff,
So the moral responsibility needs to be held on women, but the man is supposed to be running the economy. He's supposed to be the responsible one, and he can't even control his seed. Is what you're saying?
no, what I'm saying
That's what
is
you're saying
you
right
got
now.
that's not what I'm saying.
You putting the
No,
morality
I'm not
behind
saying,
women.
but
The
creative. I'm
foundation.
not.
You're the reason
But
why.
if you're saying that you go through all this stuff, you're risking your life to have this child, or if you get the abortion, you're gonna risk your life and your health, mentally, physically, emotionally, to go through all this. Then on your end, I'm talking about your end, you should be more protected than anybody. I don't have to, as a man, I don't have to go through all that.
You're right, and I think both
But
people should protect. So
that's
just
what I'm
as much
saying.
as she should
But you
protect
want
her
to
body.
you want to put a moral standard. We're not living in a moral world.
Oh no no no
If
no
we
no
was
no
on a
no.
moral, we was on a moral.
Oh.
Depending on the moral, whatever morals you out, people got different morals. Now we're going by
Yeah.
a Christian standard.
Oh
Then
no.
you shouldn't be having sex until you got married. Period. You should be abstinent
Don't tell
until
him that, bro. Speak.
marriage.
Yeah,
So
that's getting
if
weird
we're
now.
gonna go by the moral standard that you're trying to push, then you shouldn't even be engaging that man sexually until you're married.
So this
She don't want to. She
conversation
don't
is
want to hear
about.
that though.
But this
She don't want to hear
conversation,
that part
y'all
of the
making,
story.
is this
That's all
conversation
of
about
it.
morality?
No,
we
bro.
making
Speak
about
is
morality
telling her
now?
she's making a moral argument. Bro Speak's trying to tell her you can't make a moral argument when you're not
Oh,
operating out of
thank you,
morality.
because I
That's
did
what
not want it to
I'm
go
saying,
there.
Shane. I'm not going with a moral argument. I'm saying
Okay.
people push this moral argument, but you're not following it to the letter.
Yeah, because she's
Oh,
a
thank you.
hypocrite.
Whew.
She's a hypocrite. That's why.
Well, that's not just her. There's a lot of people who do it,
Well, that's
men
everybody.
and
That's
women.
not just
That's
women.
why
That's men and women.
that's why I
That's
don't put the moral argument in it, because
yeah.
morals is what you make of it.
Thank you.
J.I.
If
went
you're
on
going
here
to
and
follow,
said
but
she
if
should
you're
have
going
never
to
been
follow it,
sleeping with the man to begin with to have an abortion. So what he's saying the same morality argument also.
No, I'm not saying a morality
Yes, you
argument.
are. Yes, you
I'm
are. You
saying if
insinuated
she
that
slept
many
with them,
times
I
when
don't
you were
listen. I don't
talking.
care what she does. I said men deserve financial abortion under the law. I didn't say women shouldn't be sleeping with men. I said when women sleep with men, they have the right to have abortions afterwards, and men should have the same right under the law to make it fair. She can have an abortion. I can have a financial abortion. And financial abortion is so that men don't get control over women's bodies. So I don't believe a man should be able to force you to have it. Like if you slept with a man and he got you pregnant, I don't think he should be able to force you under the law to have his child. And I don't believe he should be able to force you to get rid of it. But I believe he should be able to say if he wants no parts of you, he should be able to financially have an abortion. That way you get to still make a decision if you want to have it or not. And I assume you want to have it because you allowed yourself to get pregnant in the first place. That's women's first point of access, them allowing themselves by not being on birth control and not making a man use a condom. That's to me, that's you allowing yourself, you chose to get pregnant. So since you chose to do that because you know how your body works, then you choose whether or not you want to carry it to term or not. And a man should be able to say, I don't want no part of this. And then you just treat it like you got a sperm donor. Simple as that. The reason you don't like it is because you know women are irresponsible as hell. That's why you don't like it.
well,
Men are irresponsible too. It goes both ways.
And I can give this panel 30 more minutes. I gotta
Yeah,
go.
it's a
Brother
circular
Speak, you want to?
conversation.
yeah, because
Brother
I'm
Speak, you want to run the panel or while I'm gone?
Let me run the panel.
Hell no, nigga. The world beat in. Brother Speak, you in charge.
Okay, I got you. Because I got another 30 minutes myself. So I mean, so yeah, I got you, DMT. But here's the thing, and I agree with you, Creative. There's men has their thing, but here's the thing: we can't be talking about a moral argument if we're not going to follow it to the letter. I hear so much about, well, if the dude would do this, then I wouldn't have done this. But you have it every step of the way. You got, if you don't know this guy,
so all I'm saying is,
if you're not even sure of who this guy is, no, why would you let him nutting you raw?
there you go. Now you're saying a moral thing. So why would you do that? Yeah. So that's back to morality, is what you just said
That's
there.
not back to morality. That's common
Yes,
sense.
that is. Why would
That's
you?
not
If you didn't
morality.
know
That's
this
common
guy,
sense.
why would you? That's asking a question of
That's a real
judgmental.
question. Why
That's
would
a
you allow that to
judgmental
happen
question.
That's not
if you
moral.
No,
don't, if you know the
that goes back
consequences?
to
That's not
morality.
moral.
That's
That's a
not a moral
judgmental
argument.
question. Yes, it
That's
is.
not a moral argument.
Now
And
you're throwing it on the
this is why
woman.
women
Why did
destroy
you
things.
sleep with him?
This
You
is why
said,
women destroy things, because I answer all her questions honestly. I told you I don't give a fuck about that woman. I just wanted a nut. That's what it. See, I can answer all the questions truthfully. Women, all they do is lie. This is why we can't get anywhere with this, because he wasn't making a moral argument. He said if you're not a fucking idiot, why would you let this happen to yourself when you're the one that gets pregnant? That's not a moral question. It's a
well,
question of
it's the
common
same.
sense.
Okay,
It's
the
a
same
question
thing like
of
the
common
man.
sense, Creative.
You're just in the motion and you're just in the feeling, and you just want to have sex.
You're an idiot because you know a baby can be put inside of you. A baby's not going to grow in a man. A baby's going to grow in you. So women who do
So
that
there
are
you go.
idiots.
You just call somebody an idiot. So and then
Yes. That's not a moral argument either. You're an idiot.
I'm not going around calling them idiots, but
Brother
I think,
Speak,
yeah,
are you telling me these
but I
single
will,
mothers are not
I
idiots for
will
being single
say
mothers?
this
man and woman.
I will say this to Creative, and this is what I've seen, and this is not a woman and a man thing. This is a society thing. We have minimized the dangers of women getting pregnant. We minimize the fact that women can die from having birth. We have minimized it in society. That's a societal thing. So because of that, there are women who are giving up the vagina and not really analyzing if this guy really is for me. She's just wanting that child with this guy for
But
whatever
that's it.
reason.
You could flip that around. You can say that about a man too.
No,
Yes,
because
you
here's
can.
the thing. That like J.I. said, I'm not having a child. You are.
Oh
The
no!
women are having a
Oh
child.
shit! Hell
The
no.
end. That's the end goal. You're having a child.
Oh
You're going to
man.
be the one in danger.
Do you see
I'm not going to be the one in danger.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
going to be
hear
the
it.
one in
I
danger.
hear it. I hear it. I shit. I
That's
can't.
the
I
only
can't.
thing that I'm
But he's
saying.
right.
Is that
What did he
Man.
say that was incorrect? No, what did he say that was incorrect?
No, it's
I'm just-
crazy talk. Like all this is crazy talk.
What did he
I
say
mean,
that was
it's-
incorrect?
I'm sorry.
This is what you're
It's
saying.
sorry.
You're saying, "Hey, nigga, hey y'all, I'm busting these bitches. Handle
What
that."
he said was true. What did he say that was
Yeah.
incorrect?
That's
But
a
I busting
logical
holes.
statement.
Handle that, girl. You should have known that before I came
She
over here.
should
You
have.
knew
Yes.
I like to
She
bust.
should have.
I like to bust big nuts.
She
I
should
I
have known
busting these
that.
hoes, ho. Why you ain't know that? I like
Why
to
didn't
bust.
she?
That's what I'm hearing,
Why
man. That
didn't
shit
she
is.
know it? Why
Hey, I
didn't she know
appreciate
it?
y'all. That's
Shannon.
crazy to me. I'm not
Why
gonna be able to
didn't she?
handle that.
No. Why didn't she know it?
Side,
Oh
Shannon,
man,
since we want to
that's
go on the
crazy.
other side.
I don't
How-
busting bitch. I don't busting bitches. I don't do
Okay,
that.
and I
You know what that's
I hear you.
called? That's called responsibility. That's something you want the
Okay.
hoes to have and not you.
Who's saying I don't want to have? Dude, I don't have no kids outside of marriage,
Oh,
and I
okay.
never wanted to do that because
Well, who
I
you speaking for then?
I'm speaking on
The
the
niggas that do
logic
that?
side of everything.
That's what you
Look,
taking up for, the dudes that do that?
I'm not taking
You taking
up
up
for
for
anybody.
for
I'm
Future
going by the
and Nick
logical
Cannon?
thing of everything. I'm going by logic. I'm
man.
not going by emotion.
That's
You wanna-
logical.
you wanna- yes, that's logical.
I bust
If
in these
you don't know
hoes.
who this dude is, no, you should not be letting him nut in you. And I will go on the men's side. If you
But
don't
you
know
try
who
to
this woman is, if you don't know who she is, no, you should not be nutting in her. So I can go on both sides, logic
You
and
can,
logic.
but
I
you
don't
didn't.
go by emotional. I don't go by emotion. I
And
go
this
by
is why
logic.
we don't get anywhere, because they don't acknowledge the truth. The woman has
Nah,
100% control over whether or not she has a child or not, but they refuse to
men
put the
don't.
onus on the women, even though they claim women are
So
equal to men. It's insane.
We don't. Men don't.
Shannon, let me tell you this one. Women can choose who they want to have a baby with.
Can men?
That,
We
but I
we
can
go around
choose
jacking off,
if
shooting
she
nothing
has-
there, and the women just catch it.
but I can choose if she has my baby. I can choose
Oh,
that.
okay. Oh,
So
okay. That sounds like the
give you-
same
I
thing,
give
but
you
yeah,
all
go
of
ahead.
that. See, I'm logical like that. I hear on the side, but when I put the logic to you, don't be mad. That's logic. Logic
That's
does
logic?
not give you emotion. It don't care about your feelings and nothing like that. This is just straight logic. If you don't know this dude, no, do not let him nut in you. Guys, if you don't know this
she has to
woman,
be
you don't
responsible.
nut in her. So yes,
She has to be responsible.
I agree with you both.
Yeah, she has to be responsible because the baby comes out
So
of
what
her
the
mouth.
man got to be? He just
The
he
man just
nutting
has to be a
everywhere.
man. The man just has to be a man.
A man has to be a man. That's what I want to hear. Hey, peace to y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right. All right then.
Okay, I just got one thing to say. 'Cause I'm about to bounce too, but I just want to say that the system and everything is in place for a reason. Even
Yeah,
Jay,
it's
I
because
think
men allowed it. That's the reason.
finish? Can I finish?
Let us finish.
It's for these irresponsible men who like to, go around and have sex with multiple women. You're right; they don't have to pay their child support, but again, they can't really live a fulfilling life because they have all this back child support to pay. So they can't really run and do anything. They can't get their passport. They can't get their license. So it's a downward trend. And not only that, but for the, I think this is so funny because it's on both sides. There's consequences on both sides, right? So the man, he's gonna get his pockets run, and he should have known better. Just like the woman, if she didn't want to get pregnant, and getting pregnant to get a check, that's not really smart because the man, half the time, the man is not gonna pay that child support, and so the woman, she has to take on that burden and that responsibility of raising that child alone, and that alone will force you to grow up. So I think it's equal on both sides, whether y'all like to see it or not. You guys
Damn
think
lie.
it's fair to the man, but I think it is fair because for me, right, I'm just being honest. If I was to get pregnant and I could just give the child to the man and pay child support, I would do that. I will send him $500 a month and let him take the child, because taking care of a human being from age of from like months
Well, why
all the
don't you
way
give your
to
kids to their dad
18,
now?
that's a big responsibility.
Why don't you give your kids to their dad now?
Why? What?
Why don't you give your kids to their dad now?
It's a trust factor. So the
See these
person.
lies, this trust factor. See, these women just be lying just to talk, man. Y'all just be
No,
letting them
it's not the truth.
lie
All
and
right,
say
if a
just
man,
anything.
if a man
Don't
is
let these women say anything,
if
man.
he's a
This
good
shit crazy.
functional human being, he's
You don't
doing
get to
well in
determine
life.
what's good. Them kids won't die. Give them kids to them. See, they just say anything to y'all, and y'all just go for it.
I
All
don't
they do is
believe
lie.
that. I don't believe
All
that.
they do is lie. That's all
I
they
don't
do
believe
is
that.
just lie out
I
their
need
mouth.
somebody who's good and
She's
functional
a
because
liar.
those are my
Okay,
kids.
y'all
That's
let her.
it.
Oh, if I could just give the kids away, oh boy, just give
I
the
am
kids
dead
away.
serious.
Oh, if I could just give my kids away, I'd
But
want to
If
do
he's
it.
a
creative,
good
I
dad,
promise
yeah.
I'd do it,
If
and
he's a good dad,
but I
yeah.
can't do it right now because I don't think that
But
he's
most men don't
responsible
want
enough.
that.
But if
Most men
I
don't want
do, I
that.
could do it.
Go ahead, bro.
She literally could do it right now. Y'all just let them lie and say anything, man. Y'all just believe anything.
I gotta ask her a
This shit
question.
crazy.
Let me ask her this question. Creative. I have a simple question for you.
Go ahead.
How many of these women do you know are going to give their child to the father, whether he's good, bad, or indifferent.
No, it matters. It matters if
No. I'm asking a question.
Oh, how many? I know a lot.
How many are going to do that?
I know a lot. When I go pick up my son from school, I see single dads there, and the mom has them on the
that
weekend.
doesn't mean that that the dads have custody. Listen to these lies. Oh my God!
Did you just hear me say?
Y'all just let them say anything.
The dad has full custody, and his ex-woman or his ex-wife, she has the kids on the weekend. I've seen situations like that. They're out there.
But how prevalent is that?
That's not what that man asked you.
He just asked me how prevalent is that.
He asked you what percent of women do you think will give the kids to the father? What percent do you think will do that? What percent?
If we go by demographics, it's different. I would give it a 20%.
Thank you. 20%.
Yeah.
So 80% would not. Whether he's good father, bad father, whatever.
No, I think it has to play is of how engaged you are in your kid's life.
You're a goddamn lie. There's millionaires who women will not give the kid to the millionaire who's better in every single way because they want that child support check. Y'all just let these women lie and say any fucking thing. When we have example after example, she gonna sit up here and say, I don't know, like these kids aren't used to checks. Y'all are insane, man.
I don't know who hurt you or what you went through in the past or what women did to you, but not all women are the same. And basically, you pick the woman who you sleep with and procreate with.
I don't have any kids. I don't have these problems.
Well, good. I hope you don't.
See, and that's another thing they try to do. Oh, if you speak about something sensible with passion, oh, you must be suffering. That's why I don't listen to. See, man, all these women do is lie. I ain't use the B word because BMT don't like it when I do that. But all these chicks do is sit up here and lie, and she gonna sit up here and pretend like, oh, if the guy is financially stable, women just want to give up the kid. No, we know goddamn well they use these kids for checks, even when these women don't have nothing to their name. Even when these women don't, I'm not trying to convince you. You live in a fairy tale land where shit is just upside down. You live in the upside down.
No, if I got money,
you live in a backwards fantasy land where
think
up is
about
down
it.
and left is right. You don't even live in reality. So I know you don't understand. But we have countless examples of women after woman that have literally nothing. The child will be better in every single way if the father had them. But because that child is a check in our goddamn judicial system, which is what the tender years law is about, it favors women having the children and it sucks men dry in these child support things. And that's why when men have a lot of money, they pay these women exorbitant amounts of child support because it's not about the child. It's about running the man's pockets. Man, we understand this.
Okay, that's all I'm just say this. You pick the woman who you want to be with.
That has nothing to do with the law. There's not about here's another lie that they say. You picked the woman, you picked her, blah blah blah. You know what? That doesn't make it legally okay.
Are you a victim?
That doesn't make it men are victims, and I'm a man, so I can one day be a victim. Yes, men are victims. Yes, men are victims. Yes, men are victims of the system. Yes, men are victims of this system. Men are victims of this system.
Are you a victim?
You know what this is like? This is like if we remove the laws and we said, you know what? Domestic violence is no longer a thing. If somebody hits you, you can hit them. And if there's nobody there, it's not on videotape, then we just assume it was mutual combat. Nobody gets in trouble. Women will go around getting knocked the fuck out. And you know what I would say to you? I would say, oh, are you a victim? Did you choose to be with him? Are you a victim? Why are you complaining? All he did was swallow your eyes shut. Maybe you should have chose better. Maybe if you would have chose a better man, he would not have knocked the teeth out your mouth.
You guys say it all the time. I think women are used to it.
Maybe you should have chose better. See, man, don't listen to these disingenuous arguments that they make because they use the guise of the law to get away with the evil that they do to men. But they understand when it's not in their favor. They understand what that is really bad.
Stay in your victim trope, J.I. Become a victim. You have no power here. You're a victim. Stay in your victim trope.
Okay. And they try to use that. Guess what? Everybody was a victim that got laws changed. Everybody was a victim that got laws changed in their favor. So I'll be that. Whatever. I'll be the victim. I'll be
Okay,
the
go
victim
ahead,
and get
Victor.
the laws
Okay.
changed for the man.
Okay.
You can't shame me because I don't care what you think of me. So there's no shaming
Okay,
tactic
Victor.
that's gonna work
Okay,
on me.
you have
There
a
is
victim mentality.
zero
Okay,
shaming tactics that are going to work
you have a
on me.
victim mentality.
That's
Nobody has ever
that's
told you
right.
that,
And
but it's
that's
the truth.
why I'm going to urge men at every step of the way. Maybe some man who I'm talking to right now will hear this and be like, you know what? That motherfucker J.I. is right. Let me go to law school. Let me really devote my life to this. Let me get this changed. And it'll be all because of what he heard me say to this lying chick right now. And
I
maybe
don't
that's gonna
care.
be what happens.
I
Well,
really don't care. You do what you gotta do, Ji.
I do it every time. You know
I
what it
will
is.
agree with Ji in the sense of this, and if dudes are listening and understand what is against you if you do mess with the wrong woman, and even if you mess with the right woman, that woman can change your mind the next day, and then all this stuff can happen to you. So I do think it's important that men understand the laws, understand the child support laws, understand child custody laws, understand all these things going in so you can make a better decision. This ain't to scare men because we don't want to do that, but just to so everybody know what's against you and be prepared. And I
Men,
do
stop
think
listening to these lies about choosing the right woman because there's no
no,
such
no, no.
thing.
Okay, can
These things
okay.
happen. No. These things happen because the law allows it to happen. You know why men weren't losing their children 100 years ago like this? Because it wasn't a law enforcing it. It's not that they picked the right women. It's not that they vetted the right woman. That's a lie. There's no such thing as vetting and picking the right woman. It's what the laws allow. That's why you could take these women, drop them over in the Middle East, see if they have these problems. You know why they won't? Because their laws won't allow it. This is a
Right.
legal issue. This has nothing to do with picking a right woman or a wrong woman. Don't let
Okay.
anybody tell you, oh, you got to pick the right woman. But no, you need to fight to change these laws, man, because as long as these laws are here, these women are going to abuse them. In my opinion, we ought to institute Sharia law. I think we ought to take a page out of Islam and see what's going on with that because they're not having these problems. Man, we are going to have to start thinking like that. We may need some
Well,
Sharia law going on
Okay,
to get this
well,
going.
okay.
but here's the
I'll say
thing
one
with that
thing.
Sharia law.
I agree with both speak. You know, it's one thing
I
to be
bet
the
you do.
victim. Hold on, but it's one thing to take it a step, ahead, right? And be smart on who you pick. Maybe you date somebody
That's
who's within
oh
your
my
tax
God.
bracket. Number one. Number two,
Nothing to do with it.
you confront the situation before it happens. So you
Nothing to
ask the
do with it.
woman, how can I finish?
You are finished. You said your closing statement
Okay,
like 20 minutes ago. You were
okay,
supposed to
so
leave like 20 minutes ago. Just go.
okay, so yeah, so number two, what I was saying, yeah. So you always you confront it. So you always ahead of it. So you always talk to the woman about scenarios. If this happened or if that happened, how would we work it out? And obviously, if you messing with a high quality woman who cares about her job, her
That's
finances,
a
and things
lie.
that's going around in her life,
That's
you
a
know,
lie.
and she
It's
has some
lawyers in
moral
child support
compass and
support court
moral
right now.
character.
Ivy League taking a man through the ringer. Y'all just listen to these lies. Men, don't listen to these lies. This has nothing to do with the caliber. Women are women. Women are women. This has nothing to do with her being from the hood or from her being from the Hamptons. That's a goddamn lie because they both do the same thing. They all do the same thing because the law allows it. Listen, man, don't let these women gaslight you and be trying, oh, well, maybe I just didn't vet her enough. No, because you know who don't have these problems? These Middle Eastern countries. And you got to ask yourself why. It's the laws. So, men, maybe we need to take a page
JI,
out of
maybe you
Sharia
should
law.
go over there and get you your five wives.
Maybe we need to take a page out of Sharia law and we need to see what that's about and we need to
No,
start really
I think
we
JI,
need to
you
really
need
start
to go live
implementing it.
over there. You should go
We need
live
to really
there.
start implementing these new laws because under these laws are wicked. They're not working. They're against men. If we had something like Sharia law, creative wouldn't even be able to be up here talking this nonsense.
But I
So if
do
we
think
take a
You
page
so
out of their
mad.
book,
yeah,
You mad I'm in the US. I
but
know.
if we take
but
a page out of their book, we could fix these problems, man. That's what we're gonna have to do. All this talking
yeah,
to them is not gonna do anything. We got to change the
no,
law.
Jay, I do agree with that because
Thank you.
again, they they're gonna be for their benefit. I think what needs to happen on the men's side, and particularly black men, since the black men here, You need to stop obsessing over these women. I think that's I on certain level, I agree with you. You know, I actually signed that financial abortion petition.
Well,
The
thank
issue that, you know, I signed it, and I can tell you why. Because, like you said, you could be doing everything right, and that woman can abort your baby with no, and you wouldn't even know. She don't even have to consult with you.
Nope.
You can she accidentally, y'all being protective of everything, and you accidentally get pregnant, she can choose whether to have it or not. That's law. So I
Yep.
agree with the law. But the problem that's going to come into, unfortunately, with trying to enact Sharia law is because of these dudes are obsessed with women. They don't want to lose access to that vagina, that validation.
All I would have to do is convince them that it actually would be better for them under these rules, because not only would it preserve their marriages, but it would give them control. See, that what you're saying is right. Men will have the illusion at first, like, oh, this is gonna keep me from getting pussy. Uh-oh. I don't want no. Quite the opposite. Because let me tell you, these Middle Eastern men are getting pussy. That ain't they can have several wives. That ain't no issue going on over there. That's not an issue. But they don't have to worry about these laws destroying men in family courts like this, because they do not allow their legal system to do that to men. And it doesn't have to be as extreme as Sharia law, but it needs to be reformed. And that's what men have to understand. We are going to have to reform the law, because these women are never going to be. I understand why we have these conversations. It's just entertainment at the end of the day. It's just entertainment, and that's what it is. But I want the men hearing me to understand the square that I stand on, which is men are going to have to change the legal system. Has nothing to do with the woman. You're going to have to change the legal system. However you want to go about doing that, fine. It's different ways to do it. It's plenty different ways to go about that. But that's what they're going to have to go about. But I want men to understand that you cannot reason with these women. You cannot try to make sense to these women, because they don't care, because it benefits them. So we can never get through to them.
Hashtag they know and they don't care.
Exactly.
Shouts out to Todd City. But yeah, I agree with you. The men gonna have to focus more on their own legacy and their own self-interest, and stop obsessing over these women. Talking to these women about these laws is not going to change anything, because again, they are going for their self-interest. I'm not going to call them wicked like you take it there, but they're human.
They are.
They're going to go for their self-interest. So,
but bro, how can you not call them wicked when a woman will sit up in poverty and have multiple children? That's not wicked to you, and see how the children suffer because of what she chooses to do. That's not wickedness to you. That's wickedness to me. What do you call that then? What do you call that?
Well,
because I call it wicked.
I would say that woman's wicked.
So then you agree that single mothers are wicked?
Not a totality. No, I will not agree with that.
Okay, so where do you draw the line to call them wicked? Because they knew that they weren't married when they had these children. So where do you draw the line to call? Where do they become wicked? I say they're wicked for doing it, but where do they become wicked in your opinion?
In my opinion, they're wicked if you're not actively trying to get out of that situation and you're just wallowing in it. I call them wicked if you are punishing your children because of your pride and whatever is keeping you in this situation, and you won't at the very least try to either work it out with the guy, or you just have that hatred of bitterness towards him that you're taking it out on the children. That I would call very wicked.
Sir, if a woman is in poverty and she chooses to have a child, You don't think that that is wicked in and of itself? You don't think that's wickedness?
I can't because
Bro, you know how that child is going to suffer. You know what's going to happen to that child. You don't think that's wicked for her to do that?
if she's willfully doing it like that,
Don't nobody have no baby on accident. They
if
had
she
that baby on
willfully,
purpose.
no, it's not the baby part, but for willfully, and you know that you're in poverty, and you know that dude is not have no money or anything like that. If you willfully doing it, then I can.
What is this if? She knows she poor and she know he don't have nothing. And they choose to do it. That's wick. Just say it, bro. Speak. That is wickedness. You can't. How can you defend it? Let me hear it. Defend it. Defend that behavior.
I can't defend that.
Then you
So
know that it's wicked to do it.
yeah, but these people are not thinking like that. To be honest, I think
Oh, I
they
know
just,
that they're not thinking like that, but what they're doing is wicked. And you see the wickedness because you see the fruit that it bears. You see how our community is destroyed. You see how our community is in shambles. You see how the family, the lack of family unit is there. You see the how black people is projected that by 2052 we're projected to have wealth at zero. You see the wickedness that this fruit bears.
okay, but would the men be wicked as well?
No, not under these laws. Why? Why is that? Because men do not have the choice of whether or not children get born. These women decide. And
Okay,
guess what, bro? Speak. Guess what these women know how to do? They know how, ooh, I don't like him. I'm not gonna have his kid. They know how to have a kid, how to not have a kid by somebody they don't want to have a kid by. They know how to do it, bro. Speak.
okay.
So every time they have one, it's because they choose to have one. And the reason it's not men's fault is because, bro, speak, can I force a woman if I nut up in a woman and she's pregnant, can I force her to keep it?
No, you
Can
can't.
I force her to get rid of it?
No,
So whose choice is it?
it is her choice. But
It is her choice, so that's why she's wicked for doing it. We can't blame men. You don't blame people for stuff they don't have control over. Now, if the law was changed tomorrow and it said, men, when a woman's pregnant, you have to decide for a woman to have an abortion, she has to have a man present, and we have to do a DNA test to see that he's the father, and he has to decide whether or not she can have an abortion or not. And if he chooses to have an abortion, then men can force women to do it. Now, if men had that authority, like back in the day when women were property, now it's the man's fault because men have authority over that. But women aren't property anymore, bro. Speak. They are free to do whatever they want to do. So it's their fault because they're choosing to do it. They're not property.
but does that? But nice. But does that make them wicked for doing that? But
Yes, it makes them wicked for doing that. You see the fruit of it.
well, they don't know it's the fruit
No,
of it.
who don't know? They grew up in poverty. They know what it's like to be poor, and they see everybody else around them poor, and they see what that breeds. Who didn't know?
Right.
What they didn't know, bro? Speak. Tell me.
I mean, you got a point about they know.
You talking about if they didn't know? They know damn well. They come from it. The generations of poverty. Talking about they don't know. They know what it's like to be poor, and they see examples around them of people struggling with kids, and they still do it because they're wicked. I'm trying to figure out how you trying to defend this behavior.
I'm not trying to defend the behavior, but to call it wicked
because it is.
I can't go that.
You can't go that far. Okay, so let's do this. What is wickedness to you?
I can't go that far and say it's wicked.
Okay, so let's do this then. What is wickedness to you? How do you define wickedness?
If you do something intentionally, knowing that you're going to harm somebody, I do think that is wicked. That's just
okay.
Me.
So
but
by
I
that
don't
definition,
think that all these women are doing that. Just
no. Your definition was if you do something knowing that you're going to harm someone, that's wickedness. That's what you just said. They know that they're going to harm these children. They know these children are going to suffer. They know because they have examples around them. They know because they're broke when they have them. They know because a lot of them grew up in that same situation themselves and saw how they suffered. So they know what they did and they chose to do it anyway. So by your definition that you just gave, it's wickedness.
Maybe look,
It ain't no maybe. I don't know why you're struggling to say it, but by your definition, it's wicked.
Maybe because I don't want to look at
exactly. You don't want to call a spade, and that's the issue that we have.
That's I guess that is my mental block. I don't want to call.
You don't want to call it what it is.
Wicked,
and that's why it continues to go on, because people, people used to call things what they were. People used to shame things, call things what they were, but we've gotten away from that as a society, and we suffer more and more for it. We see what's happening to these goddamn kids. They know what's going to happen to their goddamn kids. Every single stat shows that single parent children are fucking the worst statistically and have the lowest outcomes of success and are the most incarcerated. We know that. They know that. A lot of them grew up in that. By your own definition, it's wickedness. But because men like you won't call it what it is, because it is wickedness. Make no mistake, it's wicked.
But the only reason why I won't, the reason why I can't go full,
you still can't bring yourself to do it now.
No, I can't. That's just not, because I just can't do that, because I can't see every woman doing that.
I mean, every woman doing that. What woman had a baby in poverty and said, you know what, this is a great idea? What part of that is not wicked? They do it consciously. They didn't have sex and then wake up 9 months later and a child was there. They do it consciously, knowing their situation, and especially the ones that have more than one kid. Come on.
Okay, and now when you're talking about the more than one kid, if you're consistently doing it, then yeah, I can look at them and say that's wicked, because you already have one kid. And
so they knew what was coming after the first one.
Yeah, I guess my mental block is trying to label all of them without knowing their situation. That's where I guess my mental block comes into play.
It don't matter the situation, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It don't matter the situation. It's wickedness. And this is why people couldn't survive under the Old Testament of the Bible, because the Old Testament of the Bible said you do this and bad things are going to happen. It wasn't, we're not playing around with you and giving you all these passes. And that's why it wasn't none of this foolishness. And that's why all these fake Christians today love to say, only God can judge me. Oh, God knows my heart, blah, blah, blah. Because that's the excuse to not have to follow no rules. But that didn't fly back in the day. And you know what they didn't have? All this foolishness we have today.
Right. Now that I do agree with you on that one, because like you said, they were very strict.
But you won't call it wicked. That's why we got here, because you won't call it what it is.
Well, there's a lot of people that won't call it that.
Yeah, and that's how we got here. Hey, thank you. That's my point. It's a lot of people won't call it.
I get what you're saying,
and that's why we're here.
And like I said, well, but the problem is, like you said, there's men that allow this wickedness in the world. So there's men that allow this wickedness to happen. Men allow this. So if we're going to get on these, and I agree with you, we do need to confront also the men that allow this that situation to come forth. Not the ones that allow this. Those men also.
I agree with that. The lawmakers. Yeah. That's why I believe men need to attack the law. I agree.
Not even the lawmakers, but the ones that even agree with the lawmakers.
Yeah, them too. I agree. We agree about that.
All of them. So if we're not going to do that,
we agree.
We're going to have a long road, and
no, the road's not going to be too long. Because here's what's going to happen.
It's going to have to take something real drastic to change it. It's really going to take.
And here's what it's going to be, bro. Speed. This inflation thing and the rising rent prices. If you've been watching, I've been watching documentary after documentary of people being pushed out of housing, pushed out, not being afford where they live anymore because wages aren't keeping up with inflation, et cetera, et cetera. Once these student loans finally get off being frozen, it's going to be people
or in financial hardship, and that's why they keep on pushing back the student loan freeze. They keep on pushing these things back because they know that the economy can only take so much. What's going to happen is the economy is going to break, and then once
Yeah.
America collapses, see, people don't think America can fall. Once America falls and becomes like a third world country, all this stuff is going to correct itself. It's not going to be all this foolishness. It's not going to be all this child support because men aren't going to have no money. And then once you have that happening and the system absolutely collapses, it's going to correct itself, but it's going to have to fall first.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen.
I do. Well, I'm gonna agree with you on that one because I think that it's going to take that to happen to really change this. Because as long as people are free as they are right now, they're not going to change it. It's going to have to take something like that to happen. But Jay, I got to get going because I got to get to work. I
All right.
appreciate your.
I'm about to log off too, man. Good talking with you.
Good talking with you, Jay. It's been a while, so and you know you one of my favorite people on here because you come at it from a logical standpoint. You're not on emotional stuff. So
Yeah, this is straight logic, and people don't agree with me, but you know, I respect you for having an open mind. And you know, one of these days we're gonna get you to call them wicked.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm getting there, but I guess maybe I just still have hope. I still have a little.
And that's what kills a man is hope.
Yeah. So, but anyway, great talking to you, Jay. Man.
All right, be safe, man. Till next time.
All right, man. All right. So, well, I guess I get my final word here before I shut it down. Unless BMT gonna keep going with this. Look, you know,